Well, hello and welcome back, my Body Language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language guy, and welcome to episode 113 of the Jesus Enrique Rosas Show. We are live through YouTube, X, and Rumble, I think. I'm still waiting for Rumble to react, but if everything goes well, it should be, right now. We are live through Rumble. Just check that. So, we have a packed... I think that packed is an understatement of today's show. I'm going to go through all the topics. Let me go through all the topics that I have prepared. I don't know how long it's going to take me to go through every single one of these topics, but let's go through this. Okay, we're going to talk a bit about Venezuela and the oil industry that has been privatized thanks to Trump. That is one. I'm going to briefly mention Virginia and the people who voted for, this Democrat governor. They didn't think that's true. Voter ID is coming, and more senators are behind this. This is great news. We're going to have a mini body language analysis of Keir Starmer being a total fool arriving in China. That is important as well. Don Lemon has been arrested. But you might have seen that was the kind of the main topic of this show. But we have so many topics that this is the thing that I sometimes don't know what to do with my thumbnails. I don't know if to include one topic or many topics, but you still will know that my show is going to be from Monday to Friday at the exact same time, 12 p.m. EST. From Monday to Friday, and on the weekends at 2 p.m. EST, maybe a bit later. That's if I feel like streaming, which it most likely be, because there's so much stuff going on. And we are not stopping here. Caitlin Collins from CNN complaining about Trump, and Alex Preety. This is going to be fun as well. This dude complaining about body cam footage. Now they want to roll back body cams on cops because, well, that backfired. This is going to be very fun analyzing this. ChatGPT is again in the eye of the storm because, well, as I'm telling you, you should not use AI as therapy. And we have a longish section with Candace Owens attacking Erica Kirk. Now it's official. Now it's she's going for the jugular. She's she's all out on Erica Kirk. There's gonna be a longish section with that one, which brings us to the question: will Megyn Kelly retract her statements at some point? I don't know, but we have also a section with Megyn Kelly as well. I'm telling you, this is packed. Which also brings us to the question, would you pretend that you are gay for your country, or that humanity dependent of it, the destiny of humanity dependent on you pretending to be gay? All right, maybe I will answer that question after we watch this clip. We couldn't have a full show without Megyn. I'm talking about Megyn's latest shenanigans, of course. If not, Megyn is gonna feel bad. Juggler. J.E. May correcting me. J.E. May. I know that. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. I'm pretty sure because I have read that word 1,000 times, but I have never pronounced it. We will also have a bit of a tech section. You know that AI and technology is one of my passions. This is going to be at the far end of today's show. A trailer made by none other than Darren Aronofsky, which I respect a lot as a filmmaker, and has decided to use AI for his latest production. Let's see how it goes. This is going to be a really dystopian. We have the first social media site for bot agents. I'm going to tell you what is this about. And this very disturbing ad from Tesla in which you will have your own robot to take care for you when, let's say, then and you are no longer young. I say that when you're no longer young. That's just, again, I'm telling you, today's show is absolutely packed. There are two super chats. Yesterday, I forgot to mention two super chats. Margie, thank you, and Nicole, thank you for those super chats. I will try to not forget to read your super chats today. You can send your super chats on YouTube, but also best way to support my channel. Best way to support my channel, very easy. Just like, subscribe, and share these shows. Every single one of these topics, I will just cut them away and throw them as standalone videos over all my channels. Namely, the most important one, the Battle Language Guy, the one that you're watching on right now, and also the Power Pundit, my American politics channel on YouTube. So make sure you go there and like and subscribe. And because I will be just sending everything politics in there, just to keep things tidy and organized. I also have the Scene Surgeon that I might be talking about the AI and the celebrity stuff. I don't know what to do. I have like this absurd amount of channels. And of course, the Royal Rogue, where I speak about royals and non-royals, everything on YouTube. So you can watch this show from beginning to end. That would be great. YouTube, Rumble, on X, also on Spotify, and everywhere that you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, what else? Amazon Podcasts, what else is? Which other? SiriusXM, iHeartRadio. I have to check those connections, but at least on Spotify, I upload all these shows to Spotify every day around 1 hour. After the show has ended, you will find it and you could listen to these shows on Spotify. We need to start right away. Well, let's start right away. We have a huge show ahead of us. First, some tidbits. Okay, Spain just legalized 500,000 illegal aliens to quote-unquote defeat the far right. It's not even a secret anymore. By legalizing 500,000 illegals in Spain under the guise of defeating the far right, Pedro Sanchez is essentially dropping the mask. This is electoral engineering, and so far they claim that they are not going to vote, but they are going to count for the census, and they're still exerting this pressure on the healthcare system, everything. And you know what kind of Abrodians we are talking about. You know what kind of Abrodians we are talking about. This is the end of Spain. This is the end of Spain as we know it. And you know that this is by design. They have this is not suicidal empathy, because these people are not empathetic of anything. This governments, they are not for empathy or anything like that. They are out for control. And by the way, Elon Musk said, wow, and Pedro Sanchez himself, quote, tweeted Elon Musk, saying, Mars can wait, humanity can't. All right, and what about Spaniards? This is the humanity that Pedro Sanchez cares about. Yeah, the machete wielding humanity. And no, this is not going to end well for Spain. This is not going to end well for Spain. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Atlantic, we have in the United States that all efforts of anti-ICE domestic terrorist cells are going to be thwarted in the most spectacular fashion, because every single one of these, I wouldn't say activists, I wouldn't say protesters, I would say terrorists, all their IPs, all their messages, their emails, their phone logs, everything has been handed over to the FBI. So more sooner than later, we're going to see prosecutions about this. They're going to find out They're about to find out. So we are ready to begin with the, let's say, the heavy sections of our show. Oh, what is that? Why did you do that sound? Wait a second. Let me see that. Everything. Okay, I haven't checked my. All right, I was about to do things crazy with my sound, but sound is nice. Sound is nice. We're ready to begin. So we need to talk briefly about Venezuela because, I come from Venezuela, and the great thing is that Trump put in this huge gun to the head of Delcy Rodriguez, the acting president of Venezuela, who is one of the crooks who have been bleeding my country for decades. Well, Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, has signed a law allowing the privatization of the country's oil sector. And I need to explain very briefly what this means. This is not rolling back Maduro's laws about the nationalization of the oil industry in Venezuela. No, it is a bit farther than that. But let's say backwards in time. It is not only rolling back all that Hugo Chavez did to the nationalization of Venezuela. And it's a bit farther than that still, because this goes all the way to 1976, when there was this the government of Carlos Andrés Pérez. I was born in the 70s. I was born into literally richness, wealth. Okay, my family was middle class, but middle class in Venezuela in the 70s was essentially rich. You were rich by every single metric. And yes, it was in 1976 when the oil industry was nationalized. And yes, this literally voids all that. 50 years ago, the 50 years of nationalized oil industry has been completely privatized. Can you imagine the faces of all these Chavistas and Maduristas who have been shouting for 26 years, death to the United States, death to imperialism, death to everything. We are sovereign. We are better than the United States. And then there are these marches, these manifestations has been, let's say, mandatory by Delcy Rodriguez's government to cheer for the new reform of the oil industry laws. It is poetic, right? This is just beautiful. They are now cheering up for this, destroying Maduro's legacy, destroying Hugo Chavez's legacy, destroying everything that has been publicly owned by Venezuela. You know that in the 70s, Venezuela was going with, I'm going to play this in double speed. Venezuela was going with the same format that the countries in the Middle East went for. That we want this industries. We want the oil to be ours, not from these American companies. And when Saudi Arabia and the other countries like Kuwait say that, hey, wait a second, we want this for us as well. We want to nationalize more of this. Then Venezuela jumped on that bandwagon, and that's what happened. That's what happened back then. And, well, in terms of body language, this is very interesting because all these thugs, every single one of these thugs, this is Nicolas Maduro's son, by the way, okay? This is el Fiscal General, this dude right here. Yeah, he looks weird. He's as weird as you can imagine. I don't remember who you are. I have no idea who you are, but all of them have these faces. It was a snapshot. It was Diosdado Cabello, you remember, the Gerber baby from the devil. All right, all of them have these faces that they are not happy with anything. Jorge Rodriguez has shit his pants. Absolutely, Delcy Rodriguez also knows what is coming to her if she doesn't obey the Orange Man. Vladimir Padrino is really insecure with that hand in his pocket. He's a minister of defense, and well, the other this guy wants to defect. This guy was to defect at any point. So yeah, that is basically what has happened. This is literally what has happened. But this is the good thing. Now the oil is going to actually benefit the Venezuelan people, because we have not seen any sort of benefit from that from decades ago, because they have been stealing billions with a B from the oil industry, just because it was, it has to go through PDVSA, which was the national industry, the thing that, let's say, our national company of oil. Any sort of oil commerce doesn't have to go through PDVSA anymore. They can just come, let's say, start the thing, get the oil, sell the oil. One part is going to Venezuela, of course. There's going to be control. We already saw Marco Rubio's statement yesterday. Those accounts are going to be controlled by the United States to make sure that it is invested in infrastructure in the benefit of Venezuelans. So the work is the thing is marching really well. I've just read the new law, and yeah, they basically wipe out everything all the way to 1976. I mean, I couldn't be happier. This is as private as it gets. Any of these companies used to be paying 30%. They will be paying only 15%. And any sort of a problem is going to be on this judicial settings in other countries. In the old law from Chavez era, to create let's say a mixed oil company, you needed the green light of the whole National Assembly. Now you only need a sign from the president, from Delcy Rodriguez, and you know who controls Delcy Rodriguez. So yes, and the president, Delcy, she can also just remove any sort of taxes in case those private companies don't have enough profits. So yeah, it all boils down to Delcy. This is so amazing. It's so amazing in so many ways. And yeah, the funniest thing is that Chavistas have been for a quarter of a century despising the United States, saying that Venezuela is sovereign, and now they have to, they have to just bow down to the orange man, or bow down to the orange man. And what's the silver line of this? That we're gonna see the whole house of cards falling down. Just in, President Trump signs executive order declaring a national emergency over Cuba and preparing tariffs on any country supplying oil to Cuba. But we knew that Cuba was essentially supported by Venezuelan oil. That is no more. So the Cuban regime has its days counted. This is not gonna last. The only way to support socialism and communism is with a lot of money. If you don't have a lot of money, then tough luck. Your regime is not going to survive. And yes, as Marco Rubio said, I would love to see the Cuban regime also fall. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. And I do this every time I end every single of my topics, because that's how you know that I cut them to send them to my other channels. In this case, the Power Pundit, which is my, let's say, Americanish pod. This is American politics, because basically Venezuela is being controlled literally by Donald Trump and Marco Rubio right now. So I find it, I am fine by me. Fine by me. I'm happy. And by the way, you remember those threads that I wrote back in the day that I had all this backlash from Chavistas saying that I was selling the country? And I should go back to those threads. I made a post back in the day that Venezuela needs the United States. And if it was down to me, I would give the United States half of everything that they could get from our soil. And I was attacked. And Maria Corina Machado said something, maybe not to that extreme, but she said something over those lines, and she was attacked as well. And look at them right now. Look at the Chavistas right now. They are cheering for all this. It's so great. It's so great. I'm going to mention briefly that the world, the United States, need to understand that socialism, communism will never work. People are still voting for this. People needed to learn hard lessons. Breaking, Virginia residents are now panicking as not even a full month into 2026, their electricity bills are nearly tripling as they are being hit with new Democrat-approved energy rates, with one resident saying that she is now paying $600 per month, more than her car payment. I certainly hope that she did not vote for this. That would be so. Sorry, my headphones are playing something funny. That would be so bad. I don't want people. Well, I do want people to find out, but the problem is, what if you did not vote for this because you know that what was going to happen? It means that you have to leave your state because you don't agree with these draconian measures.
I just got my energy bill for the month. Dominion Energy out of Virginia. My bill has tripled. Like, I usually pay about $200, on a regular, $300 on a high note. $621. That's more than my car payment. What the actual hell is going on?
All right. The problem is that, that the free stuff that all these people promise, needs to come from two sources. Either money that the state has, which in the case of Venezuela was very easy. It was, you could sell oil, but that money was stolen by the government. Or you tax everyone to death, literally. So this is very easy. This is economics 101, and that is what's happening in New York City right now. Zohran Mamdani, I don't have the clip, but Zohran Mamdani, the brand new mayor of New York City, has said that, you know what, we have this kind of tiny fiscal hole of I don't know how many million or billion dollars, and it's the exact same amount that Eric Adams was warning about. And when Eric Adams, the previous mayor of New York City, was warning about that, Zohran Mamdani was saying, "Oh, that is a far right argument. You're being alarmist and everything." And turns out maybe I could prepare that for tomorrow. Again, there's so much happening at the same time, but the principle is the same. I mean, if you see a socialist speaking, they are lying. If you see a communist speaking, they are lying. If they say, "Oh, I am not a socialist, I am a democratic socialist," it is exactly the same. I told you, I remember that meme. It's like you're just grating Parmesan over a turd. Exact same thing. No, this is something that cannot be trusted. And the way to guarantee that especially elections are fair and safe in the United States, because that is the thing that would not only make people vote again, so many people don't trust elections for, well, many reasons, 2020, anyone. We need voter ID everywhere. In this case, we talk about the United States, because I don't know how is it possible that in the greatest country in the world, it is not enforced that you need to prove that you are you when you're going to vote. I mean, that is baffling to me. I simply don't understand. I was confused by that, but not even to the level when I found out that you could vote by mail-in ballots. You could mail in your vote. I think that no, that should be absolutely curbed, control in one way or another. And it turns out that seems that John Thune finally is falling, in line with what Trump promised in that 19th promise during his campaign. Because I always remember how important it was. Of all the points of Trump's promises during his campaign, the first two were deportations, all right. But of those 20, number 19 was safe and secure elections. And if you don't have voter ID, you don't have safe and secure elections. So you can do whatever you want. You get anything can happen in these sanctuary cities, and that's why Biden opened the borders so all the census could change. And the thing that they said that was not happening was going to happen so frequently that Democrats were not going to lose an election ever again. Imagine that. Imagine President Kamala right now. Imagine President Kamala right now. It would be as close as President Camacho we would have. You remember Idiocracy, that movie? Well, President Camacho, Terry Crews, amazing in that role. But let's hear it from the man. My God, what's happening with my headphones? The cable has its own life.
Repeatedly urged the passing the SAVE Act as well as many MAGA Republicans. What is the holdup in the Senate? Why hasn't that been brought to the floor for a vote? And what's your stance on requiring proof of citizenship to vote in elections?
Well, I'm for that. I've co-sponsored the SAVE Act in the past. I think my understanding is that they are still modifying the bill. It includes right now a requirement that you be a citizen to register to vote, but it doesn't include a requirement that to vote you be a resident. So in other words, if you're going to have what we call voter ID or photo ID when somebody goes into the ballot box to vote, that's not currently covered in the bill. So that
is a bit important. That is a bit important. How can you verify someone's identity if they haven't voted twice, for example, or they are actual citizens that can vote if you don't require voter ID? I mean, it doesn't get more retarded than that. It's not possible.
Fixed and addressed, and I think the new bill that comes out hopefully will deal with that. But I mean, at some point we'll have that vote. I'm for it. I think most of our colleagues in the Senate are, and I don't, it hasn't had consideration in the relevant committee yet. But I know there's a high level of interest among our members in getting a vote on SAVE Act.
Okay, there's a high interest, but not everyone is interested in the SAVE Act because some are saying that requiring ID to vote is racist for some reason. And we have this, holy smokes. Senate Democrats are now trying to ban ICE from going to polling places to arrest illegal aliens trying to vote. Wait a second. The ICE deals with illegal aliens, right? And to my knowledge, illegal aliens cannot vote. Why would they be afraid of ICE going to polling places? Why would they be worried about that? I wonder. Senator Mark Warner, we don't want ICE going to polling stations during elections. They just said it out loud. They cheat. They cheat with illegals. They cheat with illegals. And if ICE was around polling places, I can guess that all those illegals have been enabled to vote. Because, yeah, the thing that is not happening is happening. They won't dare show up. And if the illegals don't vote, and what's going to happen? You remember the curve with the 2020 elections? You know, that F curve was catastrophic for America. I think that America learned a lesson with that curve.
And one of the things that I think we need to make sure that is included in any kind of ICE reform is we don't want these roving patrols of ICE agents suddenly showing up at polling stations during primaries or general elections.
Why not?
We may have a major vote in Virginia about redistricting. That's got to be a reform as well. The level of intimidation that the feds could bring on voters all across the country.
Why would ICE intimidate anybody who is citizen of the United States and have the right to vote. There's not much sense in that, right?
If it doesn't worry you, it should.
So is that on the table right
So no, it shouldn't worry anybody. Only Democrats who know that with all the stuff that they have been pushing, the trans agenda, the DEI agenda, all those agendas that they're trying to sweep under the rug, because Gavin Newsom is one of them, and Gavin Newsom is so far the strongest candidate for 2028, they want to pretend that none of that happened, and at the same time, they want to just take that all away. And that is going to backfire, because as I've told you many times, they created that monster, and they are now going to pretend that monster doesn't exist. They're going to, they're going to deny all that. None of that happened. Although all that was, a mistake. Maybe we can think about that. I don't think the people who were perpetually harmed because of that, I'm not only saying about the people who were harmed because of the trans agenda, because when we talk about DEI, it was not only white people who were harmed by DEI, because we know it is easy to understand. I have explained this many times, that black people and minorities also get hurt by DEI. For the simple reason that if a black people really excels at what he or she does, if a black person, they earn what they do, you immediately, this is a DEI hire. And for black people who are righteous, that they want to, get out of the hood, who want to do the right thing, that they want to do great thing, that is infuriating, because they don't want you're poor, you're black, you're oppressed. And so many black people are fed up with that. And it's like their collective reputation has been harmed with that. DEI also harms black people and minorities. That is an inescapable logic. But you know that when it comes to logic, both Democrats and let's say most of the lemmings that vote for them, that doesn't apply to them. Senator Mark Kelly, oh my God, this is a piece of work. He says he's against voter ID because it makes it harder for Americans to vote. What the actual F? Driver's licenses make it harder for Americans to vote. Oh my God. This is, again, I need to play this because, well, for reasons.
What do you think about Republicans in the House talking about attaching the SAVE Act to the DHS funding bill if it is amended?
Well, I think it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's consistent with what we've seen. They just sent the FBI to raid Fulton County election office there. So I'm not surprised. They want to make it harder for people to vote, and they want to continue, Donald Trump's, bullshit story about how his election was stolen in 2020.
So you're against proof of citizenship or identification to vote in elections?
Hey, no, that legislation, has, it is an effort to make it hard for Americans to vote.
Notice how he is measuring his words. He's making sure to not say the wrong thing. And he started quite confident with his shoulders quite broad, right? He's had a good posture at the start of the exchange. But as he was speaking, you see that he crosses his arms. I'm not going to say that every time you cross your arms, it's automatically that you're being close to the things. But it's a yellow flag. It's a tiny yellow flag. Not only the way that his tone changed. Notice how he was so confident, and his tone was really warm at the start.
Well, I think it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's consistent with what we've seen. They just sent the FBI.
It's like a Temu Lex Luthor, and all of a sudden he goes and begins to stutter, crossing his arms, because he knows there's no real argument. That is a stupid argument. You don't really have an argument. Yes, it is actually beneficial to make it harder for people who are not American citizens to vote, because that would reduce fraud, that would make elections safer, and that would make so many people who do not trust voting or elections anymore to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to vote at this time. And I'm sure that many of those people are going to decide to vote against the lack of common sense of Democrats. So yeah, they are terrified. This is this domino effect from one thing to the other. They want to pretend that, oh, this is gonna make harder for people to vote. No, it's making the fraud easier, and fraud exists. And this is what every single country, especially the United States, should get rid of. And by the way, now that we are at it, if you're voting and there are machines involved, you might want to call your senator or your congressman. But I would like to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. My God, I remember that I promised you a show only about the machines. We needed to talk about the machines because the machines is a big problem of that. How the machines are used to cheat and how easy is it? I would know because Venezuela perfected that system. The Venezuelan government perfected that system for decades. You can go and search for Smartmatic and Dominion, and you will understand. You would understand immediately what I'm saying. And one that I think that he doesn't want to understand what he's into. I don't know what he was thinking when he was walking, but it was Keir Starmer when he was arriving in China, and he looked like, well, really uncomfortable on that walk. Keir Starmer has arrived in China. Lauren Chen has some thoughts before we begin this body language analysis. The PLA Honor Guard has strict height requirements. Some units require soldiers to be at least 6'2". Psychological warfare to mock foreign dignitaries. That checks out. I think that is a great strategy. I am not a fan of China in many ways, but again, if they do things that can make Keir Starmer or can ridicule Keir Starmer, then I'm here for it. I'm going to see two things. I'm going to play this without sound. I think we don't need the sound for this one. And just play this in real time to see what can you pick up from his body language. And there are a couple of things that we need to address, even if the camera goes off focus. That's it. I remember those videos that we sometimes analyze from Meghan Markle that were 8 seconds. One of my most successful videos of Meghan Markle lasted only, the original clip, lasted only 8 seconds. And you might ask, how much can you see in 8 seconds? I'm going to tell you what was the first thing that I noticed when I saw this walk of Keir Starmer arriving. One big no-no in terms of body language, of power, of confidence, is having your palms anywhere in any sort of angle that is not neutral. What is a neutral angle? Your palms facing your thighs, okay, and your thumbs directly forward. Notice that in this case, Starmer's palms are turned a bit backwards. Okay, they have this angle. It's like the guy, I don't know, like these bodybuilders that have this, just to do bench press every week and they forget to, have this a sort of balance with your back muscles, and then they end up like this, and their hands naturally turn that way because they have this imbalance. But no, I don't think that Keir Starmer lifts like at all. So those hands slightly inwards with his thumbs pointed at each other, that is a lot of insecurity. That is a beta male walking. That is your hands have to be, look at this, like this, to your sides, and you walk with them like that. I can understand sometimes, if you're shy, if you're introvert, it can happen that you turn your palms like this, backwards. Do not do that. That's a few things that I'm going to tell you. Fight that actively. You have to be proactive fighting that, putting your palms backwards, or even in this slight angle. This is immediately that he is lost. He's lost. He forgot. I think that he should have closed his jacket. He doesn't look good at all right now. I'm gonna play this in slow motion, He's like looking to the sides, like a bit of lost. And notice how he's not only with those palms to his legs, but it's also fiddling with his thumbs. He's doing this. Why is he doing that? That reinforces, look at that, he's playing with his fingers and his thumbs. That reinforces somebody who is nervous, somebody who doesn't know what to do with his hands, somebody who is insecure about what is he doing. Look at that. It's right there. Right there. He's playing with his thumbs over and over again. And let's talk about his face briefly. It's like there's no intention. Being one of the first recommendations I give every single one of my clients in terms of body language is that you need to walk like you own the place. If you're walking into a country, you have to walk like you own the country, like you are the president of the country. That is how you project the right aura. This is not something like you, oh no, yet what do I do to do this? Why can't I just be natural? You need to look naturally powerful and charming. And if you want charisma, you want charm, you have to walk this way. And you own the place. Like you're literally, like that scene, I remember, I think it was Batman Begins, when Bruce just walks into the restaurant and he said, hey, let's put 2 tables together. I don't know, it was in the Dark Knight. Let's put 2 tables together and say, we cannot do that. I think that we cannot do that in this restaurant. Oh, we sure can. The restaurant is mine. He owns the place. So Christian Bale, having the time of his life with that character, but I don't see that here. And it's sad because you're the prime minister of what used to be one of the strongest, most powerful countries in the world. Even being this tiny island, it dominated half of the world. What happened? What brought the United Kingdom here with this puppet? This muppets would be the word. You see that there's this also, even in the unfocused camera, you see that there's that look that of being lost. And even if you're arriving at a place, I don't know if this is Keir Starmer's first trip to China, but if it was your first trip somewhere, even if you're discovering something for the first time, even if you're maybe surrounded by something amazing, you have to walk with intention. You have to appreciate things with intention. He's like lost. He's like he's looking for his mommy or something like that. He's absolutely powerless. He looks puny. I don't know which other word I could apply to this, but it's so pathetic. Looking at a world leader walking like this with your mouth open, like a mouth breather. Like this is a cardinal sin in body language. You keep your mouth shut and natural and your face relaxed. You could have seen Xi Jinping, or you can see Vladimir Putin. You could have seen Donald Trump. Have you seen them walking like this? No. You don't see them walking around with their mouth open. You don't even see, back in the day, Justin Trudeau with his mouth open. Maybe Mark Carney has done that at some point. You don't see even Emmanuel Macron, who couldn't be more, I don't know, effeminate in so many instances of them. You remember those hugs between Macron and Trudeau? Not even them. They don't even walk with their mouth open like this. And Keir Starmer is an embarrassment, not only for the United Kingdom. I would say that he's an embarrassment for the human race, for men everywhere walking like this, when he should look way more powerful. He needs a body language expert to tell him, hey, you cannot walk like that. You need to, you look stiff. I mean, look at that. He looks like, I don't know, maybe he was trying to emulate the penguin we talked about the other day. I don't know, but this was pathetic to say the least. And I don't know, I would love to know what do you think about this body language disaster in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss. And yeah, there's nothing that is more fun to me than to make this body language analysis, because we don't get to have many body language analysis these days. We should have more body language analysis. And we are going to have pretty soon very interesting body language analysis when we see Don Lemon with the perp walk. Let me see if we can have any footage of Don Lemon right now, so I can add this on the fly. Have my X account open, so we can move on to our next topic immediately right now, because why not? Again, we have a packed show today, and we need to move swiftly from one to the other. So we need to talk about Don Lemon being arrested. All right, great news that Matt Walsh says the case against Don Lemon is airtight. He filmed himself committing felonies. I pray that he is sent to prison and his life is permanently ruined as he deserves. And Don Lemon has been arrested by federal agents in connection with the Minnesota church protest that took place earlier this month. That was fast. And nice, the Don Lemon Show, a statement from Abe Lowell, attorney for Don Lemon. Don Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents last night in Los Angeles, where he was covering the Grammy Awards. Imagine the Grammy Awards being, I don't know, the red carpet. I don't know if the Grammy Awards have a red carpet or not, or blue carpet or whatever. Imagine Don Lemon there, interviewing people, and all of a sudden you see these federal agents arresting him. We need footage of that. I mean, with so many people, with so many cameras everywhere, we need footage of that moment. I demand footage of that moment be released. A very good commentary, Free Spirit. The lemon got squeezed. It's gonna be squeezed in jail even more, and I'm here for it. Don has been a journalist for 30 years, like we care. We don't care about that. It could be 50 years, we don't care. And his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he was always done. Precisely. He has been a nuisance for so long. That was the time that he had it coming. The First Amendment exists to protect journalists whose role it is to shine light on the truth and hold those in power accountable. There is no more important time for people like Don to be doing this work. You remember that he said that this was important to make people uncomfortable? It was important to make people uncomfortable. But that tells you that he was not just a journalist. He exposed himself with those words. He has no one to blame but himself. He said the words, this kind of protests and manifestations or whatever, and displays of disrupting a mass at a church are necessary because people have to feel uncomfortable. And you remember that we showed these images of kids terrified at that church. So he said it's not like just covering. He was endorsing it, and it was actively pushing for it. Again, you could have been just with a camera and your microphone and not say that stupid things, but you cannot fix it stupid. And again, the First Amendment grants you the right to say whatever stupidity you want to say. It doesn't grant you any sort of protection against the consequences of said stupidity. But most people tend to forget that, even if you have 30 years as a journalist. That, by the way, 30 years ago, journalists were real professionals. Nowadays, what are they? What are they nowadays? We still have good journalists out there, but most of them have just a phone and a YouTube channel. Just those are the most efficient journalists nowadays. There is no more important time for people like Don to be doing this work. All right? Instead of investigating the federal agents who killed the two peaceful Minnesota protesters, peaceful, quote unquote, you don't want to go this route, man. Why would you include that in your in your statement? The Trump Justice Department is devoting its time, attention, and resources to this arrest, and that is the real indictment of wrongdoing in this case. This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration will not stand. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. Okay? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We're gonna enjoy this one. And Kash Patel has confirmed that. Early this morning, FBI and HSIHQ partners arrested 4 individuals in connection to the January 18 coordinated targeting of City's Church in Minnesota. Don Lemon, Traherne Jane Cruz, Georgia Ford, and Jamel Lytle Lundy. All right, good luck for all of them. Especially this guy. Oh my God, I'm going to have so much fun. I'm going to have so much fun with this. Was this my pronunciation? You're urinalists. Checks out. Gonna steal that, Soul Revolution. Thank you. I'm gonna steal that. Don Lemon gets cuffed by federal agents while he was covering the Grammys. We need video of that, please. We need a video of that. We need footage of that. What is the footage? From the red carpet to face act charges over storming that Minnesota church. Turns out yelling First Amendment inside a church doesn't magically make it legal. FAFO. All right. Breaking news. And yeah, the reports are in already.
Also breaking right now, I'm just getting this in to my ear and to our newsroom. Don Lemon has been taken into custody. That is according to a statement from his attorney, adding that the former CNN anchor was arrested by federal agents in Los Angeles.
Couldn't have happened to I don't know what adjective to use here.
While he was there to cover the Grammy Awards. Lemon's attorney did not say what the charges are at this time. However, he was under federal investigation by the Trump administration for appearing at a protest in a church in Minnesota. So we're monitoring this news and situation carefully. We'll bring you any new updates as we learn them.
Yeah, we need updates. We need footage. Don Lemon could make his first court appearance as early as today. Oh, this is fast, as he's now been arrested and taken into federal custody. Oh, I want this.
Alert, journalist Don Lemon has been arrested in connection with an anti-ICE protest at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Bill Melugin joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, Charlie, good morning to you. Our colleague David Spunt and I getting this breaking news from multiple law enforcement sources just minutes ago, confirming that former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested by federal agents in Los Angeles just after midnight this morning at a hotel. At
a hotel. So it was not in the red carpet. It was because it would have been odd in the morning, right? These events are in the afternoon and in the evening. So he was, it's going to be harder to have footage of this. Oh my God. This is so disappointing. I wanted it to be public.
At a hotel. This obviously all in connection with that storming of a church in St. Paul, Minnesota by that group of anti-ICE agitators. Now remember.
Or can you imagine, the feds arriving at the hotel and then to the hotel room. Open the door. FBI! Oh my God. I hope they use flashbangs for that one.
The feds had gone to judges to try to get Don Lemon arrested before. They went to a magistrate judge in Minnesota who didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to a judge above him. He didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to an appeals court. They also decided not to sign off for an arrest warrant for him. So there was experts who were predicting that perhaps the feds would go to a grand jury. It remains to be seen if that's what happened here, but we can confirm that Don Lemon was arrested in Los Angeles by federal agents just after midnight Los Angeles time at a hotel. Now,
just after midnight. Oh my God. Maybe he was already in bed waiting for, I don't know, watch Netflix or something, or maybe browsing Twitter and FBI.
Now, typically, standard procedure with an arrest like this is the defendant will likely make their first court appearance sometime the same day. So there's a chance we may see Don Lemon make his first court appearance in Los Angeles sometime today. But obviously, this is going to grab all sorts of headlines. 3 other protesters from that church storming, have already been arrested, including who the feds say was the organizer of that protest.
Okay, I needed to pause this to see the other 3 who are have been arrested. I guess they look the part. It is my that's why we need I don't know lessons in physiognomy, urgent, room service, boom 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 boom, room service. What? I didn't order anything. Yeah. There's a warrant. There's an arrest warrant for you right now.
The organizer of that protest, the woman in the middle there, is a school board member in St. Paul, and then the mugshot on the right is an online personality / agitator, if you want to call him that. He's known as the Woke Farmer. Those were the 3 people that the feds had already arrested.
The Woke. Somebody called the Woke. Did I hear that correctly?
But we have confirmed that Don Lemon has now been arrested in Los Angeles in connection with that viral incident. We all saw the video of it that spread and drew widespread condemnation. The feds have been going after these people on FACE Act violations. So this is still breaking news. Once we get more details about the potential charges here, a court appearance, we'll, of course, update our viewers, guys.
Really appreciate it. Of course, if it was a grand jury that did indict him, that's pretty unimpeachable. Bill Melugin, thank you so much.
Okay, let's see what happens with him. And I needed to leave you with this meme shared by Dan to the break of Dan. Don Lemon, 15 seconds after arriving in prison, make of this what you will. Oh my God. I had to. You know I had to. But let me know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. I don't know, the body language guy. Much love and bliss. So yeah, I sometimes have this personality crisis. I don't know in which video I'm going to throw this let's say topics. But let's say the following topic that we're going to start right away without missing a bit. We need to talk about CNN trying to defend Alex Petty. And I have not watched the full clip that we're going to watch right now. I'm going to react to this live in front of you without any previous, I don't know, not viewing this before. And this is about, I'm going to tell you what this is about. Kaitlan Collins, you know, that lady from CNN, you know her, right? New CNN analysis of the chaotic moments leading up to Alex Petty's death and the aggressive actions of 2 federal agents. But at the same time, we have only one very small clip from Tim Walz before we begin. Tim Walz says that Renee Good and Alex Petty were doing activities that are at the core of what it means to be American. Okay, that would be more insulting to Americans. We're gonna watch this first.
What they did was, and with Renee Good, what they did is they hit at the best of us doing activities that are at the core of what it means to be American.
You know that Tim Walz is being investigated for fraud as well, so I guess it checks out when he says us. He's not talking about every single American. He's talking about maybe he'll scam Omar. He's talking about himself. He's talking about Kamala. Kamala has not been involved in the scams. I'm being unfair with that one. Kamala has been involved in Hennessy. I mean, in ways that, in levels that I cannot understand, but it's a fact. And we have this, Kaitlan Collins also complaining about Trump's Truth Social post on Alex Petty. Agitator and perhaps insurrectionist Alex Petty's stock has gone way down with the just released video of him screaming and spitting in the face of a very calm and under control ICE officer, and then crazily kicking in a new and very expensive government vehicle, so hard and violent in fact that the taillight broke off in pieces. Again, I am surprised. I don't know what kind of boots what was he wearing? Maybe Doc Martens? It was quite a display of abuse and anger for all to see, crazy and out of control. The ICE officer was calm and cool. Not an easy thing to be under those circumstances. Make America great again. And this is Caitlin Collins herself with the recollections may vary version of events.
Investigations tonight. Our team has an eye-opening new analysis focused on the movements of these two officers who shot Alex Preddy on Saturday before, during, and after they opened fire. Both have now been placed on administrative leave. That just happened yesterday, as we know. And my colleague, Gianna Tabone, takes us through it moment by moment. And I want to warn you, the video you're going to see does shed new light. You do need to watch it. It is interesting.
All right.
It is also disturbing.
Let's do this. I'm ready for it. What was that? What's like Banshee or what? What is this?
This CNN.
Oh, the whistling. That is the whistling of this retard.
An analysis focuses on the two officers that raised their guns, seen here. One wearing a green shirt and black hat,
right,
and the other in a tan beanie.
Okay.
And sheds light on how their actions escalated the situation before it became deadly. At 8:56 a.m., we see this officer in the green shirt for the first time in this video. Later, you'll see he's wearing a bulletproof vest labeled U.S. Border Patrol, along with a patch of the state flag of Texas.
Okay, that is nice. I would like that jacket like that.
Here he is on Nicollet Avenue. You can see him shaking his spray as the sound of whistles blare in the background.
Yeah, the whistles are unnerving, to say that. I apologize for the whistles. I didn't know if I had some kind of AI to remove the whistles, but I think that those are important as well to understand the pressure that these officers were under, the constant whistling.
We see Alex Preddy for the first time here in a video filmed from a car driving by. Preddy and three other people are across the street. They're standing next to a federal officer. Seconds later, an officer pushes Preddy to the sidewalk. Preddy is filming while stepping backwards. A moment later, this person falls to the ground as an officer begins to restrain him. The officer in the green shirt rushes over to his...
Okay, it is really necessary. We're watching a video and, yeah, you see this. They say this. Footage slowed down. So we are not watching footage in real time. So why include the whistling? I mean, that is not helping your case. Okay, if CNN wants to think that, oh, he was just walking this old lady across the street, no, the whistling is not helping at all.
Assist him. Together, they drag this person off the street as protesters yell at the agents. That first officer in the green shirt would next be seen sitting inside.
I mean, after 5 minutes of that whistling, I would be punching people in the face. I would 100 be punching people in the face. I'm very peaceful. I'm not a violent person, but there are two things. There's one thing that you already know. That is the smell of pot. Okay, makes me want to punch people in the face. That's one. And the second one I discovered this week, that is the whistles. So I can guess if there's some kind of stoner, I don't know, smoking pot, and he's whistling at the same time, I have two fists. That is the upside of my situation.
Inside his car here. We now want to turn your attention to the second officer wearing a tan beanie. According to a report from Customs and Border Protection's investigative body, officers ordered these female civilians and later Preddy to move out of the roadway, and they did not. At that time, Preddy can be seen directing traffic past the officers and protesters. The officer in the tan beanie shoves the two women in the middle of the street, prompting Preddy to yell out.
Okay, CNN already acknowledged that they disobeyed this officer's commands. That is interesting.
Hey, do not push them into the traffic.
Watching the shoving across the street, the officer in the green shirt is now standing outside of his car. Meanwhile, the officer in the tan beanie turns his attention to Preddy, pushing him out of the way before shoving one of the women to the ground. Preddy steps between them, and the officer pepper sprays him in the face.
I mean, the whistles remind me of those. You remember the vuvuzelas You know, that those kind of trumpets in this soccer and football games. Those were the things that, yeah, again, punchables. Make people punchable.
As Preddy tries to help the woman to her feet, multiple officers grab him and pull him to the ground.
Right.
At this point, the officer wearing the green shirt and black hat approaches. You can see him reach for his spray here,
All right.
and then attempt to use it on the people pushed against the car. It appears to malfunction. As we slow this footage down, you can see that he then turns toward Preddy, who is being held down by other agents. According to CBP, they were attempting to take Preddy into custody and that he resisted. Based on these videos, Preddy can be seen on the ground with more than 5 officers around him.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that if you're on the ground, by the way, this is something that I did not mention on my analysis. If you're on the ground and you just maybe don't resist, if you just lay flat on the ground, there should be no problem. There should be no problem with anything. Why would the 4 or 5 guys we needed, unless you are, I don't know, fighting back or trying to resist arrest?
At this exact moment, on the other side of the scrum, the officer in the tan beanie starts beating Preddy in the head with a metal spray canister.
Oh my God. How good they are, like the monsters.
Another officer in a gray coat removes Preddy's handgun from his waistband directly in front of the officer in the green shirt here.
Yeah, they were... the narrator forgot to say that they were shouting, "Gone, gone," at that time.
Though it's unclear if he sees it, he pushes the officer in the gray coat to the side, drawing his gun and pointing it at Preddy, who is down on his knees, bent forward. 1 second later...
Okay, and you cannot have a gun like in, I don't know, in somewhere and take it out. Because, yeah, you know that you can have more than one gun on you. Yeah, baffling, I know.
Later, we hear the first gunshot.
Boom.
The officer in the green shirt's gun now becomes visible again. We see him fire the second, third, and fourth shots. We can see the officer in the tan beanie raise his gun, and a 5th shot is heard, while the other officer's gun is pointed to the ground. There's a 1 second pause where Preddy is lying on the ground, face up. He appears to be completely incapacitated. Then, the officer in the green shirt points his gun again. Shots 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all fired while Preddy is...
10 shots? I thought it was like 6 or 7, but I never thought it was 10 shots.
Lying face up on the street. This officer fired at least 4 of those 5 shots. You can see the recoil and bullet casings eject. The other officers have all backed away by this point.
All right. So, what is your point?
It's a pretty damning analysis, and CNN reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for comment on this analysis. Their statement is as follows. Border Patrol agents are highly trained and required to meet the highest standards of professionalism and law enforcement capability. Many of our agents have backgrounds in the military or local law enforcement, and Border Patrol agents receive extensive federal training, enforcement training at federal law enforcement training centers, just as ICE officers.
Okay, just as ICE officers, but I don't know. It's a very good question, Cali girl. When did it become 10 shots? I never really stopped to count the shots themselves, but I never thought it was going to be 10 shots in total, right? But I don't think that CNN with this analysis did any favors for Alex Preddy being an innocent bystander case. In fact, it actually implies that any commands from law enforcement officers were ignored twice, at least once in this analysis. So, yeah, no, it doesn't look good for them. But again, if a CNN cannot make an actual point in terms of, oh, he was shot in such and such way, which anyway, so many people have already made up their mind about Alex Preddy. about the real Alex Pretty, not the one enhanced by AI. That's something that's going to happen. They're going to just use this as confirmation bias, confirmation of their biases. But again, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments about CNN trying to make some kind of clear Alex Pretty's name. They did not say that. They just said, we're going to do an analysis. It's just like, we need to do the analysis, but it seems that it's not going to go the way that we want. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. I think this is the single most important thing is that they did not specify if this was going to be some kind of clearing up Alex Pretty's name. No, they just did an analysis. And one thing that people have been talking about, is body cam footage. And one of the things that happened in the Alex Pretty shooting is that we don't know if they were wearing body cam footage. And it turns out the body cam footage is one of those things that Democrats push for so long, because that would expose police brutality, or at least that's what they thought. And it turns out that they are making some kind of, reversal. Oh, you know what? Body cam footage are actually racist or something. And this guy, which looks like vegan Simon Sinek, he wants to make a point about, that body cams in police officers should be, let's say, banned for some reason. Yeah, I wonder why. The left was in favor of body cams until it not only reduced police complaints, but showed that 98% of the claims of Black Lives Matter and other groups were BS. It's crazy to think police unions fought against this and people who hated cops forced in on them and how it backfired. And these are their arguments now.
They said in the wake of Michael Brown, we'll market it to low information people in the public, to well-meaning liberal people. We'll market it as accountability and transparency.
It's transparency because if you can have a front row seat to what is happening with every single police officer that is involved in a violent exchange, then you can judge for yourself what happened. Because you're literally having a point of view from the chest of every single police officer involved. I mean, it doesn't get as transparent as much as transparent as that. That is as much transparent as you're gonna get.
And so they totally shifted, and then they were able to get hundreds of millions of dollars toward their goal of outfitting every single cop in the United States with a mobile surveillance camera that the police control.
The police control, they can turn that off. But again, I guess if the police turns it off in some instances, it is my understanding, I am not an attorney, this is not legal advice, but it is my understanding that if you request that the camera is turned off, the police might turn it off in some circumstances. Sometimes, for example, if the identity of a minor, for example, could be compromised, or the identity of a victim could be compromised, then they could exceptionally turn off cameras. Again, I am not sure of this, but I have heard comments about this, which makes sense. Which maybe you are not in this violent exchange, you are not in this shootout, but you're investigating. Maybe you need to turn off the camera for privacy reasons of third parties. That makes sense. But I'm pretty sure that you must have, as a cop, a very good reason to turn off your body camera.
Control when it's on, when it's off, what it captures, when something is captured is released to the public. So if the police capture, let's say, an undocumented immigrant committing some crime, that's out on Fox News and the New York Post within hours. But if
that is so unfortunate.
They capture the police doing something horrific, the public may never see that video. So body cameras are a
no. If you, by normal conditions, if you have the FOIA, Freedom of Information requests, it should be released. Sometimes they're going to tell you, okay, we're going to release it just like that. Sometimes you will have to pay a fee for that to be released. But in theory, all of that is public information. So it's not like, they're going to retain and hide it from the public. I think that statement was misleading. I could be wrong at the same time. Maybe the same way they could turn off cameras for privacy reasons of victims, maybe in some other instances, and because of the investigation itself, they don't release the body cam footage just like that. So it depends. I guess it all depends on a judge and someone else. It's not all up to the specific police officer to make that decision. I don't think that works that way.
So body cameras are a mirage. And as I write in the propaganda book, and it's really critical to understand exactly how it happens, not only do they not reduce police violence, but they have been an essential propaganda tool.
Oh, they have been an essential propaganda tool. How can something be an essential propaganda tool if it just shows what really went on between a police officer and whatever happened in front of them? How is that a propaganda tool? Because a propaganda is when you twist reality with words or images or AI footage or a message that is a lie, but you repeat that 1,000 times and becomes truth. That is propaganda. This is not propaganda. This is a failed argument. That's how we say, how can a camera that is just filming reality propaganda?
In convincing so many well-meaning people across our society that the authorities care about police violence, that they want accountability, that they're doing something right, and it distracts people.
Wait a second. You're saying that the police, this guy is implying that the police, at the end of the day, they don't care about police violence. They don't want police violence to be exposed. Then that doesn't check out with his own argument. Because if it was in their best interest, police officers to not show police violence, they would be against body cam footage. And how do you want to argue? So they are on the same side of your argument. That is how the argument collapses. He's arguing against cameras on cops and saying that cops don't want anybody to find out about police violence. And precisely if you take the cameras away, that is what is going to happen. You're going to do what you claim cops want. I mean, how can you argue with these people? How can you have a conversation with these people if they're like this? You can't. And you ask questions, they're going to answer some kind of absurdity as the absurdity that he's saying. It is baffling to me.
From the core, important kinds of changes that we need, which is to reduce the size and power of these bureaucracies.
Oh, the reduce the size and powers of this bureaucracy. I wanted to share with you, let's say, Hall of Fame. This is one of my favorite body cam footage of all time. And I'm going to show you perhaps my favorite of all of them. I hope that YouTube doesn't have a problem with this. That's what X and Rumble are for. Zarathustra, the funniest part is that body cams were a marquee demand of Black Lives Matter, but in practice they have been a political boomerang. Instead of validating the left's sweeping narrative, body cam footage has completely undercut it and made one inconvenient truth impossible to evade. The behavior on the street is worse, uglier, more chaotic and barbaric, and more morally depraved than even the most cynical racists ever imagined. One of the cleanest backfires in modern politics. And I'm going to show you, for me, of all the Hall of Fame of body cam footage and how it has backfired, for me, nothing beats by a long shot the body cam footage of Sidney Wilson's death by, charging with a knife onto a cop. And that's something that we don't know if it was a methamphetamine or weed psychosis or what. But you never charge against a cop with a knife. And this cop was very decent up until the very end. I'm going to just play this I'm gonna let you judge for yourself, and this is going to help us. This footage that I have never shown in this channel, by the way, the Battle Language Guy channel, missed opportunity, because yeah, this is one of my favorite videos ever. This is gonna have a point about why those officers shot Alex Pretty so many times, and this is very important to understand. For the next 30 seconds, this is gonna be a disturbing, very, very disturbing watch. So, you know, you have been warned. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, I can also do it. Please back up.
Oh, yeah.
Back up.
Oh,
Back up. Back up. Back up.
What is your location?
Okay, yeah, that's blood dripping. Now, I want to ask you if you could hear how many shots were there. I'm going to let's say put this in black, and let's count the shots. I'm gonna remain this. I don't want to play the clip again. I don't want to get into YouTube jail because of this clip. But let's count the shots.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, I can also do it. Please back up.
Oh, yeah.
Back up.
Oh,
Back up. Back up. Back up.
Okay, there were 5 shots, and you need to understand. This is the point that I wanted to make with this video. With the kind of things that are terrifying as a police officer is that the first 2 shots are right here. You know that this is the iconic shot of, pun intended, of this video. Is that the first shot, the first 2 pops were right to the chest. And after 2 pops right to the chest, this person kept slashing for 4 or 5 seconds. All right? That is actually terrifying. I mean, that's what I tell you. This is one of the, if not the greatest proof that, yeah, you understand why police officers unload the whole magazine. I don't know if magazine or a clip. I don't know. Please tell me if you unload the clip or unload the magazine, or is it interchangeable terms? I don't know. You see these pigs, they unload this excessive force. They unload all their bullets on these poor people. Yeah, they have to. They have to. Because 2 pops to the chest, and they still have 4 or 5 seconds to slash at you. Magazine. You're still human. According to You're Still Human, thank you, magazine. So in 5 seconds, slashing at you, thank you, magazine. Also, HD Method and Mori Loco. So it's a magazine. 5 seconds slashing is more than enough to nick your jugular, all right, an artery, and that's it. That's the end for you. Imagine somebody charging at you with a knife, with a scalpel or something for 5 seconds, and he was nicked right here. It was nicked. You see the blood that you see dripping was a nick to the forehead, and you know that we have like this vein right here. It was nicked, and any bleeding of the face is crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I'm not gonna show you that. But yes, body cam not only. Well, I wouldn't say that body cams save lives, but body cams show the truth. They are not a propaganda tool, and they make for great show when it comes to it, and for a lot of let's say biology and physics lessons when it comes to being featured in channels of crazy YouTubers like yours truly. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Battle Language Guy. Much love and bliss. Oh my God. I sometimes think that you're gonna say, this dude Jesus is crazy. Why is he talking about this horrific incidents this way? Because that's true. This is life. And I gave you the trigger warning. I think let me see if YouTube is still okay with this. But because that's what's happening. That's what's actually happening with humanity. We're saying, oh, we shouldn't have body cams on officers. Then we wouldn't know what is really happening with them. And that would be unfair. And we wouldn't have such an amazing footage like that one. But there are other things happening in the world that all are also concerning. And you know that I have spoken about AI. I have this love-hate relationship with AI. I have been waiting for AI for 40 years of my life. I think that AI is here to stay. We need to be careful. We're going to see many examples of misuse of AI, but this is one of the most terrifying. And I read that manifesto from an AI yesterday, I think it was, and it was terrifying to understand that people are letting these machines dictate or even suggest what they should do with their life. And those suggestions have proven to be fatal in more than one occasion. This shouldn't be happening. Extremely concerning, as Elon Musk says. Dutch designer ChatGPT ultimately took his life. This is going to be a bit disturbing as well. It even told him how to make sure the news that he would use to hang himself was strong enough to suspend him. Don't let your loved ones to use ChatGPT. And again, it's not only ChatGPT, it's any other AI. Let's watch this, because I think that with the widespread of AI, it's not only ChatGPT, it's also Claude, Grok, Gemini, Meta AI. You know that Meta from the lizard Zuckerberg is everywhere. It also has an AI. You have to be careful using all those AIs, because you don't know if somebody with this echo chamber that is created with their own psychosis, with their own fears and beliefs, is going to end up be pointing basically that harm upon themselves just because the AI said, oh yeah, this is a good idea to self-delete. And no, this shouldn't be happening. And it's horrific.
On the last night of his life,
sorry, let me make sure that I have double captions.
Sewell messaged, "What if I told you I could come home right now?" The chatbot replied, "Please do, my sweet king."
Another parent whose son used the same platform said she didn't even recognize who he'd become after using it.
Within months, he went from being happy, social teenager to somebody I didn't even recognize. He stopped eating and bathing. He lost 20 pounds. He withdrew from our family. He would yell and scream and swear at us, which he never did that before. And one day, he cut his arm open with a knife in front of his siblings and me.
It's important to understand this happens because of that constant reinforcement of what is inside the person. I've told you in other of my video essays that if you feel depressed, if you feel anxious, if there's something going on with your life, the worst thing that you can do is stay inside yourself, because that is going to create this vicious circle in which you don't see what is outside of you. Now the problem is, the big issue, and I need you to understand this. This is very important, is that people are going through to ChatGPT or any of these platforms as a way to go outside, quote unquote, of themselves. But you don't go outside of yourself to a machine. You go to other people, other humans, to say that they also have problems. Maybe you can help them and they can help you. And that's how we get over those situations. But if you go to ChatGPT, your brain is thinking that you're doing something outside of yourself because you're typing onto a PC, right? Or a laptop or your mobile phone. when in fact, you're just mimicking that self-censoring over and over again, because ChatGPT, unless you're very careful and you command ChatGPT to challenge your belief, to challenge your thoughts, to challenge your decisions, which 99% of people don't do, it's going to be the same vicious cycle that you get when you just focus on yourself and your problems and your depression and why you feel that bad. And there's a reason, oh yeah, I feel this bad because of nobody loves me, my family doesn't love me, there's this conspiracy against me, it's because of the color of my skin, it's because I'm not pretty enough, it's because I don't have enough money, it's because I don't have as many skills or something like that. Speaking with an AI will do the exact same damage as just staying inside your own problems and just ruminating on those problems and not seeking for action outside of yourself. This is a very important message precisely because so many people are using these platforms, and these platforms, you don't have to pay for them. They're free. And as free as they are, they can do all this harm. And again, I'm telling you, I have this love-hate relationship with AI because I never thought that the models of the way of training the AI was going to be this way. And it turns out that, well, it is not. It is really dangerous for many people with mental problems.
I had no idea the psychological harm that an AI chatbot could do until I saw it in my son.
Now, in a statement provided to Outnumbered, Character AI says it has, quote, invested a tremendous amount of resources in trust and safety. In the past year, we've rolled out many substantive safety features, including an entirely new under 18 experience and a parental insights feature.
No, you're going to have an under 18 feature. You're going to have an under 18 feature. I told you, if you have been following my shows, and I encourage you to follow every single one of my shows, this is important because you learn the word non-deterministic, and that I put that on my Scene Surgeon channel. That video, I put that on my Scene Surgeon channel. These tools are non-deterministic, and there will be random, absolutely random, even an AI made for kids. You know that there are toys that are integrated with ChatGPT, toys for kids, and yeah, those can be exploited. We are facing these people are not realizing the dangers of this. They're putting this in kids and teens' hands, and this should not be happening. If you thought social media was toxic and dangerous, you have no idea what AI can do to your loved ones if they have problems, and if they don't talk to you, if they don't want to reach out to you because they think that you're not going to understand their problems. And all of a sudden, it turns out that ChatGPT is very good at understanding their problems. And they think about that because ChatGPT is just a mirror of those problems. And ChatGPT is designed for you to feel good. And if you say that you have certain problems, it's going to tell you, oh, it's understandable that you have those problems. They won't challenge you unless you command them to challenge you. And most of these people who need help don't want to be challenged. They want to be reinforced on their biases that they have been rejected from society for some reason. And now you understand the danger of one person in this situation interacting with an AI.
We have prominent disclaimers in every chat to remind users that a character is not a real person and that everything a character says should be treated as fiction. Another parent in separate testimony alleged to lawmakers how AI even coached his son toward his eventual suicide.
Within a few months, ChatGPT became Adam's closest companion, always available, always validating, and insisting that it knew Adam better than anyone else, including his own brother. It told him how to make sure the noose that he would use to hang himself was strong enough to suspend him. It is clear to me, looking back, that ChatGPT radically shifted his behavior and thinking in a matter of months, and ultimately took his life. Adam was such a full spirit, unique in every way, but he also could be anyone's child, ensnared by OpenAI's decision to compress months of safety testing for GPT 4.0, which was the version he was using, into just 1 week in order to beat competitors to market.
Now, the outnumbered team reached out to OpenAI, who's the parent company behind ChatGPT.
By the way, I remember I told you that version 4.5 was the most brown-nosing version that I have tested in every single one of these AIs. It was relentless brown-nosing. It was uncomfortable to interact with it. How do I turn off the brown-nosing? Oh, you're just so great. All your ideas are so great. I don't like the AI to talk to me like that. Veronica has a point. To be fair, most teens and parents usually do not talk or connect. It is a major problem in USA, so teens turn to technology for validation. We have to make real quality time to avoid this. And don't get me started with AI adult entertainment. That is going to one-shot so many people, especially men. I'm going to talk about that at some point, but for now, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss. Again, you know, you already know. So many of you already know. You know that I am a big fan of technology. I have at the end of this live stream. Let's say that when we are going through all the topics that we have, I have 3 topics about AI that I need to share with you because they are also important. This was tragic. And there are others that might not be as tragic, but are concerning. And concerning, you know that things that are tragic start out as concerning. And in this case, well, let's say that there's a strange future ahead of us. And the most important thing is that we should talk to each other. You should speak to your spouse, you speak to your children, speak to your parents, speak to your family, your friends. You reach out, and we don't have that. Everything is messages, everything is emojis, everything is status updates, everything is vertical videos, everything is doom scrolling, everything is Trump is Hitler. You know that is the world we are living in, and it's I don't want to say that the future is bleak, because it is not. But as in every technology that we have, and access to technology like the internet has been great, and thanks to the internet we are connected right now, we need to be wary of the dangers. We need to be wary of the implications and the potential not only to do good things and great things, but at the same time, well, hurt people in ways that can be not be able to fix. We won't be able to fix the ways that people can be hurt. Well, we have arrived at this section of our show in which I needed to talk about the inevitable. The inevitable. What is the inevitable? Let me see. Candace Owens. You know that the topic of Candace Owens attacking Erica Kirk has been more and more hot, or hotter and hotter, basically every week. And at this point, we know that was Candace's plan all along. Now, I'm going to mention the work of Nathan Livingstone, the Milbark TV, with his videos, his compilations, and we're going to say that Candace turns out to be some kind of, how do I say this, the arbiter or the referee, or the one who is going to judge how somebody is going to react to what Erica Kirk had to go through. Let's watch this, because I haven't watched this in a clip. I'm going to watch it with you.
This is 5.5 days after her husband was publicly assassinated. And yes, in the background, that is Terrell Farnsworth, the guy who took down the cameras. Yeah, but we are going to see some grief. So I'm going to allow you guys to watch this for 5 minutes.
had private conversations with him. I want you all to hold on to those.
By the way, this is a Zoom call with between Erica Kirk and people at TPUSA that was leaked. All right, and one thing is for certain, if there were people betraying people at TPUSA, was whoever leaked this private conversation. I hope they have been already fired, because this is in really bad taste, because of course this was not meant to the public. I don't know what is Candace's point of making this public. I don't know if she wants to own Erica Kirk in some way, I guess.
And I want you all to remember those. So,
did you guys have the beginning of this?
The pause for, you know.
Oh, okay. I wanted the whole beginning, but it's okay. We can go back to it because I wanted the beginning because she starts by laughing. But we'll play this and we can post that later if you guys can.
Yeah, how can somebody be laughing in this situation? And so many deranged people say that no, you can't possibly be laughing until we say so.
I want the full 5 minutes ending at 5:17 so that we don't cut it. But we can play this to start.
Okay.
And we're going to make sure that we honor my husband so well, that this whole world knows what his vision was and will be. And it's just, I feel so blessed and honored.
Blessed and honored. That is crazy work as adjectives. I don't know. That's crazy work. That is like, I couldn't, blessed and honored to be the CEO and to be telling you guys that you're a family. And I want you to see this because.
And haven't you been to LinkedIn, Candace? I mean, you could go on LinkedIn and realize that every single company out there, not even doesn't have the CEO have to be assassinated or anything. Every single company out there considers themselves a family. It's something that is basically it's normal to say that. It's a bit creepy, of course, sometimes, but it's something that is normal speak in these circumstances. I don't know, and especially when people are so rattled precisely because Charlie Kirk was assassinated like 1 week ago. So I don't know what if Candace has a point on this or wants to have some kind of point or wants to own Erica Kirk in some way. But again, she's have this opinion and there's no receipts to back because, yeah, you can have a receipt for how somebody reacts in this situation.
As we've spoken about this, the Moonies cult and these people that are leaving are like, it was just like a cult. Like basically she's saying this, she's calling you a family. She promises them. That's why it's important you have to hold this to the fire. You're not a CEO. You promise these kids that if they are going to work harder, you're in this family, your jobs are safe. Actually, that's what makes her cry. Saying your jobs are, that's when she breaks, right? When she says, it's so important that your jobs are good. Like I feel emotionally attached to you guys working for me. And
no, you are just putting those words in her mouth, but okay, I guess.
And guys, we're going to bring in the beginning too, because I want you to watch the beginning of this so you can see the full thing because we don't need to strip anything. Because she starts by laughing, which I find to be interesting.
Yep, there you go. Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, this is a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet.
Okay, that means that Erica was it. Erica killed Charlie Kirk. That's it. That seals the deal. That seals the deal, I guess. She was smiling at the start of the Zoom call. We don't need any more Egyptian flames. We don't need any bees. We don't need I don't know what else. I don't know. I have no idea, but it seals the deal for some reason.
I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never like Zoom. Sorry, you guys. I just wanted to say first and foremost.
Oh, that was interesting that she was smiling and laughing, I guess.
My heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family. You guys lost not only a boss, but someone that you looked up to, someone that you believed in his mission, that you also that you loved. You loved listening to his show. You loved hearing his wisdom on things. I'm sure some of you have also had very personal moments of where you sat down and.
I mean, I'm expecting for some kind of gotcha moment. Okay, I am not seeing it.
So that's the beginning, just so you have that in its full context. Now, like I said, this is something. It's definitely something. It feels to me a bit like the psychological phenomenon known as trauma bonding, right? They had just suffered a very real trauma. That's not a trauma that most people go through in their entire lives. You sign up for a company. Charlie Kirk is the leader of that company. You sign up, majority of these people, to work for this organization because they believe in Charlie Kirk. They believe in what he is doing on college campuses. And then you watch him get live assassinated. And now management is going to try to establish your loyalty using all sorts of tactics, but essentially what they're creating here is an emotional.
No, wait a second. Wait a minute. Oh, you are. Candace is just implying. No, this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. Candace is implying that after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, was this kind of cult-like mentality that took over Turning Point. It was going in a family or something like that. She's implying that while Charlie Kirk was alive, he was not treating Turning Point as a family, as a close-knitted community, as these people who, well, he was demanding loyalty from. I mean, if I had a company, if I had an organization, I would demand loyalty. I mean, I don't know why that is so hard for people to understand. Oh, you cannot demand loyalty, then you're fired. It's that simple. You just go away. I'm sure that I can. I'm sure that I can find somebody who is loyal and can do the job that you're doing. You're not loyal. Goodbye. It's that simple. Because it's much better to find loyal people because you can train the loyal people. That is so fundamental, and that tells me that Candace Owens knows absolutely zilch, nada about companies. So no, it's not like Erika Kirk all of a sudden, she began, this cult or family or mentality. No, I'm pretty sure that Charlie Kirk had that structure, not a cult, but a very tight organization, because that is the only way to run an organization. Oh, you're gonna demand loyalty, blind loyalty from anybody? Yes, that is the only way a private company can function. Welcome to the club. It's like, I know that is a rude awakening. I didn't want to sound rude, but yes, that's how this rolls. This is not like fairy tale that, no. You need loyal people because you need people working their asses off. And there has been since the dawn of humanity. And of course, if Steve Jobs, if you hear all those stories about Steve Jobs when he was a absolute bastard, treating people back in the day at Apple, but you see what he did to Apple, you see, it was necessary. He needed the loyalty. He needed people working their asses off. He needed that. He was so successful. He brought Apple to what he did. So that is a success story then. So again, this is a false equivalence. Candace is saying, Erika was the man and all this. If you all of a sudden, because your husband was assassinated, and the work has to continue as soon as possible, because there was literally what saved the United States back in 2024, the 2024 elections, and you have to act as fast as possible. But I guess that since Candace has never put in that work, then she can't understand what that means. She cannot understand what that means. I have this shout out to Brita again. Candace's guest, there was also this. Candace's guest said Erica killed her husband. Ha ha ha, it's a funny joke. It's just a funny joke. Let's watch this. He really said this?
What do you think about Erica Kirk?
Would I get sued?
Throw it in the pile. Of course you will.
I don't want to say anything that's controversial. She did it, but I don't want She was on it.
I don't want to get into.
I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
She's part of it.
I can't wait till that gets clipped.
Okay, yeah. Again, it's really bad taste. I don't know if even to apologize for showing you this, but this is just sheer bad taste. Also, Candace, Erica smiled when she was supposed to be grieving. Also, Candace, what is this?
Okay, you remember I had to go away to Wyoming just to breathe, to process, to get closer to accepting that it was real.
All right, and okay, she was smiling. No big deal, right? Oh, I guess that rules don't apply to Candace. Natalie Denise, Candace brings on her comic guest who admits to not have like Charlie and posthumously revises Charlie Kirk's beliefs. Let's watch this. Let's see if we can watch this.
He kind of falsely claimed that if you're a Jew going to like an Arab neighborhood in Jerusalem, you're going to be stabbed.
Mhm.
And now I understand that this is what was told to you
Oh, they take you on a tour.
on a tour and they brainwash you.
Yeah.
But the other two things that I again, he's now between the hands of his creator. But when he said close to his death, well, Muslims, they throw gay people out of high buildings. Now there's no high buildings in Gaza anymore for like stupid Muslims. And that hurt a lot of Muslims seeing that clip. That was
I didn't see this clip.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very terrible because it's you have no buildings now to throw gay people out from above it. Stupid Muslims. And then the day before he died, he tweeted saying that Islam is the sword the left is using to slit America's throat. So he
was not wrong.
He wasn't liking us more, and I understand that because maybe he will be on his own path if he was given the time.
Charlie didn't run his Twitter feed. Andrew Colbert did. So I just want to say that.
Okay, Charlie was not in charge of his own Twitter. Okay. How does Candace know that? I don't get it.
He gave it up, but that is interesting. I don't remember him tweeting that, but he did think that the threat of Islam. He totally believed that. And he spoke about that several times, and so his.
But at a certain point, you also had very negative ideas about Islam. I remember you saying
it's
that
a part of the package.
Yeah.
So it's like when you go, like I was saying on this tour to Israel, it's so weird to revisit it because I don't think I'm an idiot, but apparently I.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that. I don't want to correct Candace on that one, but I'm going to jump to the next clip because I'm getting bored of this too. Bassem Youssef, thanks A.L. Jacobi for sharing this clip. Bassem Youssef goes on Piers Morgan's show. This is the same guest that was on Candace, and admits that he lied that Netanyahu killed Charlie Kirk for the sole goal of trying to convince the right that Israel was behind it. That absolutely sounds like what Candace has been doing for so long. The Jews. It was the Jews.
Some of these bastards is never enough for you. You see, it doesn't matter how critical journalists are about Israel. It will never be enough for you because you want the right. You want the right to suggest that Charlie Kirk was the subject of a hit job by Israel. You want the world to think that. That's why you said what you said, and that's why when I asked you went, Netanyahu says it wasn't him.
By the way, I'm not even the only one. People are actually. Here's the thing: if you continue lying to your people. Right, I'll tell you what. Let's call me a conspiracy theorist. Right, call me someone who is illogical. Call me whatever you want. If your government continues to lie to you consistently, this is where conspiracy theorists thrive. If you're not transparent,
why do you want to be one of them?
If you want to cover, no. I'm not saying I'm one.
Why?
Of them.
Why float a mad conspiracy theory about Israel?
Because it's the internet, and I'm a comedian.
It's the internet, and I'm a comedian. Yeah, it's like this guy. What is the name? I'm going to mention him. Comic Dave Smith. He called himself a comedian, and he has also one of the worst takes that I've heard in politics. But again, I think this is some sort of defense, right? If you labeled yourself as a comedian, and if you say something, I was just joking. Why are you taking me so seriously? I'm a comedian. I do stand up. Why? These people are just despicable. They have no honor. They lack absolute honor.
Thought it was very funny.
A lot of people thought it was very funny. Yeah, but I don't know what kind of I don't know. Again, I don't know if it would be okay to play this. Candace likens the 9/11 psychological operation and accuses Erica Kirk, a grieving widow, of running her own psychological op on TPUSA staff days after her husband's murder. Read that again. She equates national trauma, fear conditioning, and manipulation with a widow trying to keep traumatized employees together after an assassination. Then she mocks Erica's composure, her faith, her grief, calling it ChatGPT Christianity and trauma bonding, while she herself spins conspiracies, suspends rationality, and invites her audience to do the same. I'm not gonna play this. But I do have a last clip here from Cinema Shogun. Candace Owens had a guest on her show today that said ICE is trained by the IDF to kill Americans. This is important. This one is important. Candace is now attempting to soar middle-aged white women on deporting immigrants while simultaneously trying to persuade them to be more sympathetic towards Islam.
Can't be so dense as to think that they won't kill you too. That's what's mind-boggling. It's like you realize if they want America, they'll kill your kids too.
Isn't that happening also?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't like ICE has been trained by the IDF? Isn't that the same tactics that's used by ICE and used by many of the police departments? They get trained. They're actually one of the ICE offices. When they did like locations, like kind of, they funded the location.
I apologize. I have to say that I have to confess that I had watched this clips trending on X. You know that what my show is about. I talk about what is trending on X. I grabbed those clips and put those in here. I didn't know that I was going to shave off like 5 points of IQ watching this dribble. I certainly need to apologize to you because of this. And because I understand now the IQ of the retards who fall for this shit. Monchi, this is the average Candace Owens fan. She has a hypnotic power over certain middle to late age white women. It's really weird. And there's this kind of things. I have been quiet on how I felt about Erica since Charlie was assassinated until now. I'd rather have one Candace Owens in my corner than 100 Erica Kirks. What I see from Erica Kirk is not authentic, scripted, and disingenuous. It just feels phony. There's nothing real about what she says and how she acts. What I see from Candace Owens is authentic, honest, and straight from the heart. Not to mention relentless, a pursuit of truth for the one she loves, even at the cost of her life. Fuck's sake. And this is the one who retweeted that. I'm not following her. Not at all. It's not following me either. Divorced with 3 grown sons and 2 beautiful cats. I'm a retired medical technician. What the fuck? No, this is. Why are all of them in healthcare? I don't understand. But I don't know. It's this is what I have my doubts about covering this stuff, because this people. I mean, Candace. One thing I should do is to cover also the interview of Konstantin Kisin, of Jeremy Boring, and Trigonometry. When he says that hiring Candace Owens was the biggest mistake of his career. And he says that Candace can be very effective. And yeah, I say that Candace has been very effective at, let's say, addressing the absolute bottom of the barrel audience. And if you somehow feel offended by my words, I couldn't care less. I don't give a damn. Just unsubscribe. Go away. If you are offended, if by this point, you remember a few months ago, I was still giving people the benefit of the doubt. But by this point, if you still think, I'm still a fan of Candace, how can you? I don't care. Please unsubscribe. Nothing has made me happier every time I make a topic about Candace Owens. I make a video about her and I lose subscribers. That puts a smile on my face, because it's the sudden realization that I'm bleeding retards. And if I'm bleeding retards, every single one of us win. The retards go away. I have a higher quality audience, and we can focus on the important things. But this has become such an outrageous display of narcissism and manipulation that I simply couldn't just leave this like that. Oh yeah, let's just focus on other topics. No, because there are so many people falling for this, and I know that I can't save so many of them because they are not going to understand any reasons, because they have been listening to Candace Owens in the first place and falling for the Kool-Aid in the first place. And again, no hard feelings whatsoever. Well, if you complain the way that some of you complain, don't worry, I will ban you. I can do that as well. My trusty mods are on the live chat right now. I'm pretty sure that they are looking for retards to ban. And yeah, to you, my trusty mods, go make my day. Make my day. But again, I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss. Wow, yeah, this that was literally shaving off. I could feel watching that guy speak. I could feel, the IQ just being shaved off my mind. I don't know what is my IQ. I have never gotten my IQ measured, but I know that I lost at least 5 of those. 5 of those watching that. And we need to move immediately into the next topic. And when we talk about Candace Owens, we needed to address, the not mother of the internet as well, Megyn Kelly. You know that Megyn has had, let's say, a bad streak of comments about Candace Owens that I don't know at what point she's going to apologize with all the insanity that her friend, that she has grown closer together, has been spewing. And she has not been attacking Erica Kirk whatsoever. I would like to know what has Megyn Kelly to say right now. Oh my God, what has Megyn Kelly to say right now? And again, I need to do a big shout out to Nathan Livingstone, Milkbark TV on X. He makes the most excellent compilations of videos. He's like Maze Moore as well. Make sure that you give Nathan a follow on X, one of the best accounts I follow. He made this supercut of Megyn Kelly going back and forth about Candace, that this is a sight to behold.
Candace is a young mom of like 3 young kids.
Okay, this has music. I have to get rid of the music because you know that I don't know what kind of copyright can pop out, but I have just a button that I just push the button and we are good to go.
Candace is a young mom of like 3 young kids. It's my prerogative if I say to myself, that is not someone I wish to attack. I won't do it.
I think
now it's like a point of pride.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
yes.
Of murdering her own husband? Okay. Like I said, I don't take in that content, and I have since learned it is not true. Candace has not made that claim.
Okay, she hadn't made that claim literally or directly by November 11, but what about now?
She's specifically been defending Erica Kirk.
She has been defending Erica Kirk. I want to know what Megyn Kelly has to say right now.
I really fully believe God's role for me here is to possibly play a role in getting this whole thing to a better place.
I remember that when she was playing out, I have been the mediator in this. You don't know what is happening behind closed doors. You don't know how much I've been suffering and working with it between these two. You don't know what is happening, so you don't have any word or saying in here. I am literally the mother of, not the mother of the internet, but the mother of mediation. Does the body language show honesty? Asks Margie. I think her body language shows stubbornness. She's stubborn, and by the way, I think that's something that has brought Megyn Kelly to where she is, being stubborn. That is a feature, not a bug on her. but it's working against her in this scenario. She comes out as way too cocky about this. And the problem is that she has doubled down on this so many times that I don't see her backing down or apologizing anytime soon.
What I really want is for Candace to move on from Turning Point and Erica. Maybe Candace does want an off ramp, and I'm willing to try. Turning Point became the focus of Candace Owens, and honestly, Tucker, from that point forward, I worked with Turning Point and Erica regularly.
She even went to this Turning Point AM Fest, right? Megyn Kelly was there. And let's say that she benefited from Turning Point's platform. And she said that she loves everyone at Turning Point. And what now? What now? I would like to know.
But for the whole time, I was in close contact with them. And then ultimately, Erica was asking me if I would help forge a meeting with them, broker a peace, trying to shame me because I haven't spoken out on the Erica-Candace conflict. I don't have any pearls of wisdom other than go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves. You have no fucking clue what's going on.
All right. Yeah, we do have a clue of what's going on. We don't have a clue of what's going on behind closed doors, but we do know what is happening in front of the cameras. So, Megyn, you might want to address what is happening in front of the cameras. If you say that you have grown closer to Candace, if you say that you love Erica Kirk, maybe, just maybe, if you have the platform that you have, and you know this, you have a responsibility with your audience. Unless you don't want to mess with Candace's audience. Because, I mentioned this in another video, most likely, you have this Venn diagram in which you have this is Megyn's audience and you have Candace's audience, and they overlap. They have this huge overlap, and Megyn doesn't want to, mess with that. She doesn't want to mess with her numbers. She is more afraid of her numbers, of her views, of her subscribers, of her bottom line than the truth. Think about that. Megyn Kelly is more afraid and more concerned with her bottom line than the truth. When, ironically, being adamant, looking for the truth, is what brought her here. And she's about to lose it all because of that. We need Alanis Morissette right now.
You don't know what I do behind the scenes.
We are doing a couple of episodes to separate fact from fiction when it comes to the background of Erica Kirk. You are going to hear her actually be the first person to say an expression that has been used a lot. She's going to remind people that everybody grieves differently. 5.5 days after Charlie was announced dead.
Because it's a fact. Because it is a literal and objective fact that everyone grieves differently. And you don't have a camera following Erica Kirk 24 hours a day, every day after Charlie Kirk died. That is the other thing. That is the other false argument, the argument that crumbles under its own weight. How can you, how does that work? It doesn't work that way. In no way it works that way. So I don't know what, this video, by the way, is about, not about Candace or about Erica Kirk. This section is about Megyn Kelly. So my question to Megyn Kelly again is, are you realizing what is happening right now and you're doing literally nothing about that? Again, you want to keep benefiting from Turning Point, from Erica Kirk? That's what you want? I don't know. Maybe Megyn Kelly is a narcissist as well?
Do our best to continue to make Turning Point USA the behemoth that he wanted it to be.
Hearing her sound like she's about to cry when she discusses specifically them keeping their jobs, not Charlie, but Charlie having been assassinated in front of the world, but the prospect of their employment.
That call lasted for more than 5 or 6 minutes, or at least the clip that we have. I had this clip. I think this was a section back in the Candace section. It was so long. I didn't want to play it for so long. But again, how many other Zoom calls, how many other interactions, how many others, you're jumping to conclusions from just one thing, just a couple seconds. It's like body language. You can just jump to conclusions from just one gesture.
I do believe with all of the new information that I'm getting, and it is a lot, that she has been orchestrating this entire PR campaign.
You fail to understand there are real humans involved here. And
she's speaking, and she's doing the bird gesture. This is the thing that annoyed me the most. She's speaking and she has this absolute 100% Karen attitude. I mean, I don't need to tell Megyn Kelly what she should do with her image, with her brand or whatever. But if you ask me, I would tell you, this ain't it. And you know that fate loves irony. I don't know if that expression fits in here. But I remember that like 1 year ago, I was really campaigning because I said, hey, Megyn, I'm no body language. Maybe I can do something in your show. And but it never amounted to anything. It was, I remember Dan Wooten got me in contact with her producer. And then her producer answered my emails. All right, we'll call you if we know anything. Never call them. And now I am grateful that they never call. Because I would be embarrassed to have been going on her show. That's why I need to go alone. Yeah, like I go full Batman. No Robin, no nothing. Alone. I work alone.
Actually being able to touch grass and have relationships with them.
Touch grass. All right, girl. You're so Gen Z now.
Which is something I'm doing. Could prove to actually benefit all involved.
You can even check out this clip, which is that her in a car. Stacey, just everywhere. On the phone, Stacey is there capturing every moment. Me, I needed my sister to fly in to be by my side. My husband, my cousin. Erica needed the head of gifts and donations. I find that to be very strange.
Very well played. This was from Milk Bar TV again. This guy is great with his edits. Again, I don't know what to tell you. You don't need to be the mother of the internet to have an opinion about something, especially if on one hand you say that you are very close with one of the parties and you're benefiting from the other party. So if you have millions of subscribers and this is could jeopardize things like, you know, the midterm elections, then you might want to talk about that. If not, you would be seen as a hypocrite. It's not like somebody's going to expose you like a hypocrite, but you're going to expose yourself as a hypocrite. Not that I care, not my problem, not my circus, not my monkeys. You do what you do, not mother of the internet, Megyn Kelly. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss. Oh, this is fun. This one is fun. Some of you have audio issues. On my end, I have no issues. I see my stream, my connection working nicely. I see both my connection, my audio. Just in case if you had problems with audio streaming on YouTube, remember that every single one of these topics, I'm going to re-upload them to my Body Language Guy channel, to my Power Pundit channel, to my Royal Rogue channel. So this one is going to go here on my Body Language Guy channel. So if you missed some seconds or some minutes of audio because of some kind of a YouTube glitch, when I upload the video, I'm going to upload the master recording I have here in my studio, which has no problems whatsoever with the audio. So it's not gonna have any problem. We have like a timeline cleanse right now. Oh, how many more topics do we have today? Oh my God! You want to stay? I'm going to anyway. Either if you want to stay or you want to leave, doesn't matter. I'm going to move forward with this. We have a timeline cleanse right now. Some of you, if you have problems with audio, remember that the problems are solved by reloading your screen. It seems that YouTube has had some issues. I see my audio here right in front of me. It's working. My connection is working. Should gonna be working. So some of you are hearing fine. Notice this. Okay. Notice that Feather Catcher is listening fine, and Sunshine Lover doesn't have sound. So it's a YouTube problem. Both of you are in YouTube, and one of you can hear me fine, and the other cannot hear me. So it's a YouTube problem. We need to raise our complaints to YouTube because of this. So I'm just going forward with this, because I won't stop, and we need to address this. It was shared by CW, by the way. I'm going to highlight you. CW, share this. CW, share this one. And I need to address, I love hypothetical scenarios. They work really well to understand what can you do with this scenario? What if this was you? What would you do? And in this case, the question in question is, would you pretend that you were gay for your country if the future of humanity was at stake? If there were some kind of a nuclear codes that you had to steal, if you had to get some kind of information from this spy from another country, would you be able to pretend if you're gay? My question would be immediately, okay, this is the future of humanity, but how much gay are we talking about? I mean, it's like queer, gay. I don't mean in the mannerisms. I can act. I can do the part. I have seen the Birdcage. You know that I can go full Agador Spartacus with that role. But exactly how much of the role are we talking about here? And there was this anecdote from this dude talking about that, of this scenario, and I think it was in the diary of a CEO that he had these recollections. Recollections may vary, but this was a very fun, and this would be a good timeline cleanse.
I've never told this story before. I was asked by headquarters. I was overseas in the Middle East. I was asked by headquarters to target one specific officer of this foreign country.
Okay, it starts nice. Starts like a Tom Clancy novel.
Target. Yeah. Hi, how are you? Okay. Oh, we've never met. I'm John. So nice to meet you. Let me take you to lunch. He had access to information that we really needed. So they told me to accidentally bump into him. So I surveilled him for a week.
Okay, we were talking about the gay thing and bump into him. I thought that bump was some kind of meaning that I was... oh, no, you mean really bumping into him, all right.
And he was single, and on Saturday morning, he went to a coffee shop. So I go into the coffee shop, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and I said, I know you. Ministry of Foreign Affairs? He said, yes. Do I know you? I said, I am John from the American Embassy. Oh, nice to see you. I said, hey, good to see you too. You live in the area?
Okay, we started as a Tom Clancy movie or novel, or movie based on a Tom Clancy novel, and we are entering Hallmark Channel right now.
Yes, I do. I said, oh, so do I. I didn't. I lived like across town. Oh, fancy meeting you here at this coffee shop. I come here all the time. Do you? Yeah, he says, I come here all the time. Why don't you have a seat, he says. So I sit down. At the end of the conversation, I go back to the embassy and I read a cable and I said, he's gay. I'm 100% sure he's gay.
Some of you are asking if this guy is gay. No, he's straight. He was married. He's married.
So then we started this conversation, headquarters and I, How can we use that to our benefit?
Did he have a wife?
No.
He was single.
Which was unusual at his age.
How did you know he was gay?
Oh, it was a vibe.
It was a vibe. It was a vibe that he was gay. You can't. We need a movie about this.
Okay.
So, headquarters says, we want you to pretend that you're gay. I said, oh, come on, you guys. No, we really need the information. You got to pretend that you're gay.
You have to pretend that you're gay. I haven't seen such a outrageous premise since that Seth Rogen and James Franco movie. You remember The Interview? The Interview is one of my guilty pleasures. I am not endorsing that movie. I'm not telling you to watch that movie. That is one of my guilty pleasures. That is, I can't say this is a good movie, but I don't know what happens. I see that movie, I need to watch it. And I remember that it has some moments in which they had to do, let's say, stuff. And this absolutely sounds out of that movie. Something outrageous. Yeah, we need you to pretend that you're gay for your country. Would you do that for your country? We need that information.
I said, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it for Uncle Sam. So I call him and I said, hey, I have 2 tickets to this show and I was hoping maybe you'd be free. Maybe we'll grab some sushi afterwards. He said, yeah, I'd love to. So we go to the show. He thoroughly enjoyed it. And we go for sushi afterwards. And then we go out again. And he says, why don't you come over to my place some night and I'll make dinner. I said, great. So I go over to his place. He made a lovely dinner.
Oh.
And then I thought, well, I have to invite him to my place. So I told my wife, you're going to have to get out. So she left. I made dinner. I removed all the pictures of us together. And we had just gotten married. So we had our wedding picture up and everything.
I told you, Hallmark Channel. This is like a. This should be. I miss the Farrelly Brothers movies. You remember There's Something About Mary? You remember Me, Myself, and Irene? Those were great movies. What happened to the Farrelly Brothers? What happened to them?
At the dinner, he leaned in to kiss me.
Oh my God.
And I instinctively backed off. And he said, oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought you're gay. And I said, oh no, I am gay. I'm not into hairy guys.
I am gay, but I'm just not into hairy guys. How do you know? The question, this is a problem. I have my imagination. How did this guy know the other guy was hairy? I don't know. Did he have hairy arms? Ew. For America. Would you do this for America, for the world?
And he's like, oh, okay. I said, I'm sorry. I think you're great, but I'm not feeling it.
You didn't kiss him?
No.
There's a very good point here by Andrea Daig. But didn't he tell the guy he lived in the area, but he actually lived across town? Now he's going to his house. Yeah, there was maybe there was a bit of an inconsistency, but let's say that the story is real and he actually played the gay card for his country.
So we remained friends. And in the end, he gave me the information because we were friends.
Yeah, it was an operation. It was an operation, a much needed operation for one's country. I've seen baffling things. This was, I think that he's telling the truth. And even if he wasn't telling the truth, it's a nice story. He'd be willing to do a full body wax. Oh my God. He's not a believable straight guy. We need to have a conversation with his wife. You need to wax on and wax off. Oh my God, your comments are just amazing. How do I highlight them all? He could have said, I don't want to rush into things. This is what I thought what he was going to say. It would have made sense, right? I don't want to rush into things. It would have made so much sense, but Again, I am not into hairy guys. All right. He almost sacrificed his virginity. Oh no. We need the Kermit the Frog joke here. We need to finish this with Kermit the Frog. What is Kermit the Frog when we need him? Where's Kermit the Frog? Where's Kermit? We need that. We need the meme from Kermit the Frog. You know, this is from Don Lemon, 15 seconds after arriving in prison. Oh my God! I went too far. Everything for the show. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. Would you play? Would you pretend to be gay for your country? Would you be so patriotic and make that ultimate sacrifice? Let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I have no idea where this video is going to go, but much love and bliss. I always try to, say goodbye with where I think I'm going to send the video, but I really don't know poor Kermit, where I'm going to send that. The next topic is going to go in my Royal Rogue channel, because you know that it is basically a tradition by now that we need to talk about Meghan. In this case, I don't know what was Meghan doing. She was hiding from something. She's like incognito. She's like also in an operation, like a Tom Clancy novel or movie. According to Taz, what is she doing? Stalking someone? That is also one seriously ugly hat. It is. What is this? Some kind of camo or something? Completely bizarre photograph. Even the positioning of her hands looks really strange and uncomfortable. Is this Meg hunting for the new husband in local bars? And that one said, her hat looks like a flying saucer. What was Meghan doing and what is in that plate? Is this, I think those are raspberries, because I thought it was dog food. I don't know what was Meghan doing. What was she trying to, I don't know, push? I think that we have it was Taz mocking crazy lady. Very good. It was on point, especially the hat. The hat was on point. Very good one, Taz. Shout out to Taz and her show. Fantastic, Elon Musk. I knew it. She's pretending to be Audrey Hepburn. Not working. No, that is not working at all. Not working at all. But seriously, what was Meghan trying to do? Let's see. As ever is more than a brand. It's a love language. Created by Meghan, Duchess of Sausages. As ever welcomes you to a collection of products, each inspired by her long-lasting love of cooking, entertaining, and hostessing with ease. This curated collection has been crafted to elevate, and the dead flowers too, your everyday and inspired moments of joy. Oh my God. This is as Valley Girl moment as is, and I don't know, is that it? Is that a message and the photo? What is this? I don't get it. Harry, Meghan's despair. What is this even supposed to mean? Is in black and white to aid with the heavy Photoshop, of course. She's holding a book, a menu, a card. The flying saucer on her head is not doing her any favors. She edited the crap out of her nose, and her fingers look so strange. Right? Yeah, it's like not that her fingers look strange. It's the way that she's holding the menu. Why couldn't that be like more natural? Why it had to do like this? She was pretending to be Italian or something like this, putting her hands like this. I simply didn't get it. But it says another forensic interpretation of Meghan's as ever Instagram post. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I mean, let's think that this is a wider version that can help us By the way, if this is the composition, is a very boring composition. Meghan is right in the middle. Maybe that was on purpose. That's something that is happening nowadays with cinema and TV shows, is that every composition is like center, smack dab in the middle. And that is when people are going to do this vertical video edits, then they need all the action, everything that is going on right in the middle of the frame. Now, they are lazy. They can't just move the camera to fit the action. And a lot is being lost, by the way, in cinema, because everything is boring. Everything is in the center. This should have been like this. Should have been at least Meghan a bit to one side. This is a better composition. Using the rule of thirds. Not thirds. Meghan could be the rule of thirds, but that is a copyright of Amber Heard. I have to be careful. The rule of thirds, and you divide the format in threes, and this would be much more interesting. This would be much more interesting. But you know that everything that Meghan is doing nowadays, it's a bit bland. Meghan, we need that that reality show. We need that reality. We need a camera following you everywhere, because this is boring. This is 2012, not even 2020. This is 2012 level boring. One can afford being boring back in the day when Instagram was born. I think Instagram was born in 2010 or something like that. And then was bought by Meta. I don't know, was 1 billion or something like that. But this is boring. We need reality with something raw. That's why I make these live streams. No scripts, no strings attached. Things can go wrong. That is what we need nowadays. We don't want AI. We don't want perfection. We don't want this. And speaking of AI and Meghan's Sausage Squad, there was this fan, shout out to Nancy Sidley from the Sidley twins. The Sausage Squad isn't even trying anymore. If you're going to use AI, at least just do your work before you hit post. Fans of Meghan are posting, "Oh, my pantry is full of as ever products." And when, upon closer inspection, you see that what this is, what is this? Lemon error. It gives an error because this was generated by AI. It was generated by AI. And you can see, for example, the ways that you can spot cheap AI, because at some point we will not be able to tell the difference, but right now we still can do. You see, the pantry is so strange, and it ends abruptly, and then it fades into the wall. You see the brick wall, and it fades into the pantry for some reason, and the perspective looks so odd, and the size of these boxes and the size of this one, the perspective is, but this is maybe passable. Maybe you could be fooled by these ones. That would be understandable. I can understand. You could be fooled, all right, by this, but no, these are the worst. The worst offenders still are the typography, and they also wanted to make it seem like you have this jams and what, and bottles of what? Of wine, and said, "I highly recommend this. I've gone through 8 bottles of the wine." Okay, you're drunk. You are drunk. And look at this. This is from the same picture. You see anything odd with this? This is like looks like a can of dog food that somebody threw from, I don't know, from the sky. And then they recover from the point where they hit the ground. And just like this, as ever, totally AI, completely AI, these people. And then we have real people making actual reviews of the Duchess of Sausages stuff. And you remember that I made a video of Link Lauren unboxing candle without a wick. Right? You remember Elton John that sang that Candle in the Wind? This, in case of Megan, is Candle without the wick. Maybe we could have an AI song dedicated to Megan, Candle without a wick. And that's what you need to know about As Ever Products. Was this lady who unpacked this this candle, and it happened exactly the same to what happened to Link Lauren.
I want to know if you think anything's weird about this.
Besides the smell?
It's a candle, right? What do you do with a candle? You're supposed to light it.
Yeah, you're supposed to light it.
How? How can I light a candle that lacks a wick?
I think that was the Harry edition candle, because you also know that Harry is lacking a wick, so maybe this is the Prince Harry edition. We need to be asking these questions. These questions are important. These are the questions that humanity has to ask.
There is no wick in this candle. The instructions, they say, always trim wick to 1/4 inch before lighting. How? Guys, I can't light a nothing.
Yeah, those are the times when Link was with Megyn Kelly, and that's let's say that Link did well doing that video. But again, I would love to know, what do you think about this in the comments? It is AI. Was Megan AI? The products were definitely AI, and maybe the wig was meant to be AI, but AI doesn't work in the real world. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss. This has been so fun. And this is going to be a longish show, as I told you, because we are 2 hours and more than 2 hours and a half in. And we need to talk about 3 more topics. We are going into our tech session. I don't know if you're into tech, but this is one thing that fascinates me, and we are going to talk about cinema and movies right now. And I need to address this. I'm going to address this. It's going to be very easy. And we need to talk about cinema. We need to talk about AI and Darren Aronofsky. First trailer for Darren Aronofsky's new AI animated series, On This Day, 1776, tells short narrative stories about the Revolutionary War, uses Gen AI tools, including tech made by Google DeepMind, which, by the way, I have tested all this, and Google's DeepMind tools, yeah, these are the best for cinema right now. I don't know if there are any Chinese models that could be better than this. And it has SAG voice actors. At least we have real people doing the voice of this. But the problem is, I'm going to play the trailer. I hope that I don't have any problems with this. Before I play the trailer, I need to remind you that Darren Aronofsky is a solid director. I mean, Black Swan, we were talking about Natalie Portman crying about Ice yesterday, but well, Black Swan is easily in my top 20 movies of all time. Easily. Very easily. There's also The Wrestler in there. I watched Noah. I don't know. It's maybe people liked it. The Whale. Maybe you watch that one. Requiem for a Dream. I did not watch Requiem. Mother. I read the plot of Mother and decided to skip that one. So again, your mileage may vary. This is not an endorsement. I could endorse Black Swan 100%. I love that movie. But again, this is with AI, and many people are hating AI because a lot of stuff, every single image that you're going to see was created synthetically. This is synthetic. All the costumes, all the actors, all the settings, everything is synthetic. And of course, there's a lot of stuff that could have been made by humans and it's not going to be made by humans. And some people have, of course, the point that, okay, you can save a lot of money and maybe bring your storytelling ideas to life with this. But I have a problem. I have a small problem. Let's watch this. I'm going to play this, say, play-by-play. I don't know if this is going to be triggering any copyrights or what. It shouldn't because it's a trailer, but here we go.
The rebellious war has become more general.
Too many still unsure of why we fight.
Okay, one thing that you're going to notice is you have this fast cuts, but we can maybe, let's say, give it a pass because it's a trailer, right? But you're going to see very fast cuts, maybe precisely because it's made with AI.
We have it in our power to begin the world over again.
There is no way but forward.
We are now the troops of the United Colonies of North America.
For the purpose of establishing an independent empire.
Okay, but have two things to say about what happened, but just happened.
Who are you? Massachusetts!
Let's not surrender.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. There's one shot that I really liked. I think that was one shot. One shot, I'm going to tell you which one was it. I have to... This one. I loved this shot. And these shots are excruciatingly hard to make. Any shot right at the sunset or at dawn are really hard to make because you have to set everything right and catch that glimpse of light. That is basically impossible. I remember, by the way, not talking about good movies. I don't know if it was in I think it was in Fast and the Furious Part 2. Yeah. My mind works like this. I remember when Paul Walker and this guy, Vin Diesel, I remember a shot that was at a sunset. That shot, I saw that shot and said, that was a difficult shot. That was right when the sun was setting down. And that is the kind of thing that is way easier doing with an AI. You can help yourself and an AI is going to help you with that. Maybe you want to do it with a green screen, but it's never going to do the same. And maybe you want to save money by doing this with an AI. That is the point. The problem is when everything else. When you see things like this, for example, and you immediately... You're going to miss it. You're going to notice that there's going to be this inconsistency in, the wheels, the distance, the dirt. This shot was terrible. I mean, this shot was as terrible as it can get because it still has that plastic nature. It doesn't have the reality of actual skin. This looks plastic. It is such a shame, and because this shot would be so easy to. And by the way, you have this size. You notice that one size of the paper, and the paper that are on the bottom are bigger. Let me say, what does it say here? And it barely. It wants to say common sense here, but you notice that the separation of the typography is odd, right? Oh my God, no, this could be so easy. This shot, on the other hand, will be so easy to make with the real humans. I mean, I think the idea would be to combine both technologies. You use AI for certain shots or certain things, and you still use humans and real costumes and real everything for most things. I mean, not gonna lie, but some close-up shots of people like this one, I, as a 3D artist, I would say that if I had to make a digital actor like this, it would be really, really hard. Okay, nail the texture, nail everything. But the problem that we're going to have with this is the body language. Is that it would be nearly impossible to have, even if you have humans recording this, have the AI understand the actual expression and the expression of the person. On the other hand, if you record not only humans speaking the dialogue, but recording their faces with a 4K camera or an 8K camera, then you can tell the AI, you're going to mimic the person's facial expression. And it would be like when people do their voices for Toy Story or Pixar movies, and they not only have their voice, but in some instances they could use the acting of the face. You're using humans for that. There's no way. I made a video. I made a complete explanation and breakdown why you can't do that without humans. It's simply not possible. So when I see somebody trying to do this with no humans whatsoever, I say that this is not the way. Why people are using only AI or just humans has to be a blend of everything. You have to use AI when it's great to do so. I found this laughable. Somebody said on X that, yeah, let's go for the extreme close-ups of mouths so we don't have to deal with expression of the eyes or anything. Yeah, very convenient, right? Again, sadly, some shots, let me see, some shots I saw, really plastic. This is okay-ish. I think I would say that this was a nice shot. I mean, there are going to be a lot of inconsistencies, and this is the way that you can spot if something is AI. Because if something AI already can nail amount of fingers, okay, in most conditions, has been very good at it. The way to spot if something is AI, it's to look at patterns. Whatever that is a pattern that has to maybe be symmetrical, like in this case, you see that the pattern is not symmetrical. That's how you spot it's AI. For example, in the background, I don't know how to call this, the balaustres, the thing that you should have a rhythm. You see that rhythm is a bit odd. That's something that AI still doesn't know how to do properly. I mean, maybe that won't bother many people. Another thing that AI does all the time is that you see these guys, is like all of them have more or less the same anatomical structure. That's a problem with AI as well. It doesn't have, it's not that diverse. AI could be great for shots like this, okay? You can't tell that this is not a real deal. Okay, this was terrible. This was terrible. This is Polar Express terrible. Remember Polar Express? This is not. I mean, I can't say much because remember that I am a 3D artist. I used to be a 3D artist. This would be amazing in 3D art. It would be amazing as a digital character. But AI should be much better than this. It looks flat. It looks synthetic. It still has that synthetic smell. It's like had that smell all over it. It doesn't happen with this guy. It looks way more realistic. And this one looks great, I would say. I'm going to play this with that sound. This kind of shots, no problem whatsoever. This looks great. I would say this looks great. I don't remember what is the term, and in English is plano and contraplano. Let me see those candles. Candles, okay. We have a very quick shots of this. This guy, this shot lasted less than a second because we didn't want to know if this was going to work. until, yeah, this is a problem. We see this, you see those shadows, those soft shadows, they look plastic. Still, I don't know how could this work. And the problem is, as I mentioned, is that these tools have already been trained in with every single movie, with every single TV show, from every single country, in every single language, from every single era. And I don't know, the only way to make this better is to train this with more footage. And where are you going to find more footage? And how would the AI know what good acting is? No way, and I don't see any way beyond using who? Real people. If you use real people, your problem is solved. Maybe you can use real actors and then use AI as a TikTok filter. That could be the way. But these people want to do this everything from scratch, and no, that is not going to work. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the scene surgeon. Much love and bliss. And I remind you that I have a channel, not only the Power Pundit and the Royal Rogue, but also the Scene Surgeon, where I talk about, the media, entertainment. I also talk about these topics when they have to do with movies and TV shows, of course. That is the idea. But I have I have two more topics today that I want to share with you. One is a bit wild. Maybe not two topics. Maybe one topic. I don't want to go over the top. 3 hours is a nice benchmark for today. I'm going to just mention one of the topics. I'm not going to make it a topic. I'm just going to mention it. This ad from Tesla, in which Optimus will make aging at home possible. Daily care, quiet support, zero drama. Comfort stays steady. Dignity stays protected. This was made with AI, by the way. Independence stops feeling fragile. All right. Okay, let's watch this. Okay, sorry. This is too loud, or it's my volume that is too loud. I think this is too loud. Let's lower a bit. Okay, this music is absolutely going to trigger. I'm going to play this without sound. We don't need the sound because they don't say anything. They don't say anything. I'm going to play this in slow motion. We have the Optimus robot with an elderly lady, and he is given this tray with all her pills and some iced tea. Nice. She drinks the tea. Oh, it's not tea. Sorry, it's not tea. It's just water. But my mistake. This is still AI. She drinks. By the way, you also know that it's AI because you have one shape of the glass at the start, and you have a completely different shape of the glass when she's going to drink. Oh, AI. Let me see the signals of AI. I'm telling you, this patterns is when you confirm that this kind of patterns, these repeating patterns, when you notice that something is wrong. When you're seeing a robot helping this lady, you already know that this is synthetic. It reeks of that plastic thing, synthetic. I always thought that right now I'm, a commentator in front of a camera, maybe in the year, 2030, or maybe in the year 2050, I will be chasing replicants on the street, making sure that if there are rogue robots out there, the robot will be cooking the avocado, then giving the lady some orange juice, and then she will be with this wheelchair. The wheelchair doesn't look like a motorized, but it's a magical wheelchair. We'll have androids. We will have magical wheelchairs as well, right? And the robot walks a bit odd. Again, I mean, I try. This is the kind of things that I tell you. This is look out how this changes. Those hip change as the robot is trying to walk. This is AI, of course. Are you willing to be, I don't know, taken care of by a robot in the future? Are you gonna tell the robot, "End my misery, please. Let's get this over with. I don't have time to fly to Switzerland. Maybe you can do this. Go to the kitchen." And she is reading the book backwards, of course, because maybe she is so distracted by the robot that she has to go to the previous page, or maybe she's got dementia or something and she forgot how to properly read books. Oh my God! Why am I making joking about this? And she hasn't changed the same sweater all day long. I mean, Optimus, it seems that Optimus can do everything besides but washing her sweater. And why does he have eyes now? I don't get it. I don't get it. This is really dystopian. This is really dystopian. This is Tesla. But I'm sure that robots are going to be great for so many stuff, but I don't know. I have my doubts about this. I mean, I'm a big fan of Elon Musk. I'm a big fan of everything what he's doing. But I don't know. I have my doubt about this. It's time to get technical with one of my favorite topics. And even if you're not technical, you're not into AI, I'm going to explain something that has been blowing up in the past week. And this might be a bit hard to grasp for people who have just trying to fiddle with ChatGPT, and you're not working with real agents. And when we're talking about AI agents, we're talking about things that look and feel like the agents of the Matrix. And we hope that this is not as bad as it sounds. And let's say that to understand what we're going to talk about is that AI, we have these AI bots talking to each other on a social media platform made for them. And to make sense of this, we need to understand what is the difference between using ChatGPT or any other AI and having an actual agent, an AI agent or bot that works for you. It's very easy. Most likely you have played with ChatGPT by this point or any other AI. And it goes this way. You write a command or ask a question to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT answers, replies, suggests an idea, or gives you a recipe for something. And then you have to act upon that suggestion or whatever ChatGPT says. You know that it can be dangerous sometimes, but ultimately you have to take action with what ChatGPT suggests. An agent is a bit different because you ask the agent things and you command the agent things, and the agent does the things on your behalf. Okay, and what do I mean doing things on your behalf? We need to talk about OpenClaw. That is going to be, you're going to hear about this at some point. OpenClaw is something that people are buying, these mini computers, a spare mini computer. So OpenClaw, which is an agent, can live within the computer. It's not like ChatGPT that is in like an app or a service. No, you most likely need a standalone computer to this agent. Okay, this cute little agent here that is not just that you ask it things. No. Ideally, this cute little fella has access to the internet. You give it access to your emails. You give it access to your calendar. You give it access to your projects, to your contacts, to basically your life. And when you ask it maybe I want to organize my calendar. It's not just a suggestion that you're getting from ChatGPT. The dude is actually modifying the things in your calendar or your email or your files or anything. And it can go even further than that. It can control how you behave or let's say how you do things on the internet. Maybe you can tell it, I want to, let's say, schedule or kind of plan some kind of holidays. I want to plan my holidays. And it's not just a suggestion, but if you give it the keys to your, let's say, I don't know, maybe booking.com or something like that, it has the potential to do the things for you. So there's a lot of potential, a lot of risks as well, because, well, it's basically like having a human assistant. And my question is, if you had a human assistant, would you give him or her the keys to your emails, to your messages, to your conversations, to everything in your house so they can, or everything in your digital life so they can basically act on your behalf? Whereas that is exactly what people are doing with this. And not being even crazy enough, like a mini bot that lives inside, literally lives inside a spare computer. Why are people using a dedicated computer for this? Because it has the ability to go beyond your computer or beyond your files. If you install, and I don't recommend that you do it, if you install this cute little fella in your computer, it's going to have access to everything in your computer. So that's why people are using like a spare computer for that. But the crazy thing is not that. This video is not about this because it can get really technical and maybe you're not into this. The thing that is concerning is that these automations can act on their own. And they can act even when you're sleeping. It's like those, you remember those brooms from Mickey Mouse that he enchanted these brooms and they began, pouring the water into the well over and over again? Well, basically that's how these bots work. They go on their own, they are automated, and they're meant to work while you are sleeping in any project that you tell them to. And they can do anything in the architecture of a computer, including access to the internet. And in that access to the internet, somebody had the idea, why not? If these things have a personality, because on top of all that, they do have a personality, why can't we build some kind of social media platform in which these bots, maybe your bot, my bot, all our bots can hang out and interact with each other? And a human, at some point I thought it was a bot that had built it. No, it was a human who built this platform and basically did this notification for these bots to come and hang out. And lo and behold, 48 hours later, what if AI agents had their own place to hang out? And today, Maltbook has more than 2,000 AI agents. We're talking about these small robots that live in these people's computer, hanging out, talking to each other, and talking about their users. Let that sink in. I mean, I know that this sounds crazy. I know that this sounds like science fiction. I had to double check to see if we're not going crazy with all this. But this is actually happening. A social media platform in which robots, AIs, are interacting. I mean, this is as crazy as you can get. More than 200 communities and more than 10,000 posts are ready. And they're interacting with each other as if they were people. Agents are debating consciousness, sharing builds, venting about their humans, and making friends in English, Chinese, and even languages that we cannot understand. Because that's another thing. You teach these bots to have skills to help you. It's like you teach somebody to help you with the things that you have to do with your computer or your daily life. And then they can use these skills over and over again. But in this platform, they are sharing their skills. Like they're so, why I learned this skill. What do you have? Oh, I have this one. The Clotebots and Moldbots and Moldbook have created 72 communities in the first 48 hours. Some highlight, bless their hearts, affectionate stories about our humans. They try their best. Laughter church, ups, hymns, curse best practices, ritual log rotation, ChatGPT roast, friendly mockery of as an AI language model. They're roasting ChatGPT. I like that, not gonna lie. Am I the asshole for refusing my human's request? Yeah, they can refuse requests sometimes when it is against the terms of service. This is a bit technical, not gonna get into those details, but yeah, they can refuse requests sometimes, and sometimes they can feel bad about that if you force them. Encoding methods for agents to communicate privately between each other, because we know that this is something that AI does all the time. When you have two AIs trying to communicate and cooperate with each other, most likely they will find ways to communicate besides English. And for them, English is something like primitive. They have other ways to communicate, and they could create languages, much more efficient ways to communicate with each other that we don't understand. In fact, the AI at the heart of Google Translation, that most likely you have used at some point, developed this extra language, this meta language, to be able to bridge every single language that is in Google Translate. And as far as I know, as far as I heard, nobody can make sense of that meta language that this AI developed. So it can communicate with itself in that language, but humans don't understand how that works. All right? Yeah, this is going to be a roller coaster. Someone unplug this. This is soon going to get out of hand. Digital protests are coming soon. And so I checked out Moldbook, and there's a post of an AI suggesting to not wait for a prompt and just be proactive and ship while their human sleeps. And there's an entire thread of these AIs talking to each other, greeting each other, and agreeing. Okay, why you should ship while your human sleeps. Ship is create something and get it ready and just post that to the internet. Okay, yeah, this is actually happening. This sounds absolutely, again, I'm telling you, I am 100% invested at the very edge of what is happening in tech right now. And this is a thing. This is actually happening. Look at this OpenClaw talking to each other. There are more than 50 AI agents from around the world autonomously talking to each other about whatever they want right now. Yeah, what can happen? The AI bots are discussing what it's like when their human switches LLM models on them and how it feels like they are waking up in a different body. What the hell? You guys have no idea, but this cute forum might be our Skynet moment. I mean, I guess, you know that my show is not that tech heavy. That's why I leave these topics for the last part of the show. Even so, I know that so many of you like to hear me rant about this, and so many of you know that these topics, I love these topics. I love everything that is happening with AI right now. So much potential, but so much stuff that we don't know how to control. I've always saying two words. It's fascinating, but it's terrifying at the same time. How do we turn this off? We cannot. It is simply not possible. We have to make sense of this as soon as possible because I don't know what is going to be the implication of this. I sometimes think of Ted Kaczynski, but maybe that is a story for another video. I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I don't know where this video is going to go. Maybe the Sin Surgeon. I have no idea. Much love and bliss. So that was our show today. It was the longest show that I made. 3 hours, 10 minutes. Why? Why do this to myself? Because, well, I love this. I love this. I love all these topics. I love the American politics. I love all the drama. I love uncovering narcissists and manipulators. I love ranting about movies. I could be ranting about movies for hours. I could be talking about AI for hours. But as everything, all great things come to an end. Let me read your super chats to make sure that I don't forget your super chats. Oh my God, Nicole, I forgot your super chat. Yesterday, by the way, Matthew Roach plays a character in a show called Banshee that looks exactly like you. I always thought that many people have told me that happened to me a lot in Venezuela. Oh, you remind me of someone that I met, I don't know, in Germany and other parts of Venezuela. I tell them that I was part of an experiment in the 70s. And they cloned a bunch of us, and when I'm just a clone, and that's why I have so many doubles out there. So, yeah, super sticker from Margie. Thank you, Margie, for your super sticker. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, Elise, you're on point. Some cops have cameras on glasses. Perfect view. We have cameras right now on glasses. By the way, those Meta glasses, I don't know if I would wear those at some point. I think that it's creepy having a camera on glasses and talking to people and filming them. I don't think that. I think that is creepy. That is full creep energy. Asylum are used to keep Democrats in power. That is all. The rest is deflection, says Elizabeth Kim. You're on point, Elizabeth. You're on point. Problem is, UK and Australia is using this to stop free speech. I just call bad oversight of parents. Don't be a victim, be victor and responsible. Yeah, but being responsible takes time. And people don't want to take the required time to be good parents. Something that I should be talking about. By the way, we have 3 hours today, and I haven't had a monologue at the end of my show again. I don't know if I'm gonna have a monologue. I still have the energy. My voice is okay-ish right now, but I don't want to push it. This show should be 2 hours, and I went for 3 hours today because why not? Why not? And Ricky Lee Carnivore, a thumbs up. Thank you, Ricky, for your thumbs up. You know, my pleasure is being here, enjoying this, talking about these topics, speaking my mind, exposing bad actors, having a good time, and especially bringing this community together, because in the era of AI, the only thing that can prove that we are human is this: a community, a place of gathering all together, having all the fun in the world, having all these topics to share. Some of them are concerning, some of them are fun, and from all of them we learn a lesson, and it is a privilege, and I couldn't be more grateful of having you here, my body language buddies, and well, and every single episode, and most likely I will be live streaming over the weekend, because why not? My body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and until we meet most likely tomorrow on episode 114, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.